That's Paul Simon, you can call me out. I'm Russell Brand, this is Six Music you're listening to. I'm here with I am Russell Brand, I'm constantly with him. I could never get away from that guy. God knows I tried drugs, I tried lies, nothing works. I'm still always with Russell Brand. I am here with Matt Morgan. Matt Morgan's in charge of the buttons. You alright, Matt?
Yeah, I'm really happy.
Yeah, that's probably because you're still drunk. Trevor Lock's here. Trevor Lock's in charge of competitions and phone calls. You alright, Cocky Locky?
I'm still sober, Russ. I don't know
Still
what to
sober. When are you going to amend that situation?
I don't know.
I notice you've elected to dress up like the Big Bopper today. What's with the swinging blue jeans?
Oh, it's a mistake. I thought I could find a pair of jeans that would work. They don't. They don't even
His
work
top
on
half
radio.
doesn't match his bottom half at all.
Yeah, Trevor, the top half of you looks like Alan Bennett and the bottom half of you looks like Arthur Fonzarelli. What's up with you?
I've bought some jeans and I shouldn't do. I don't know why
This
I keep
keeps
doing it. This is
happening,
the
though.
second
You've done
time
this.
I've done it in a month.
Trev, in a way, sometimes you sneer at mainstream culture, don't you? Like, you know, if someone goes,
Sneer?
oh,
I
like that
never
being
sneer.
Finding Nemo, Trevor goes, Finding Nemo? I've not seen Finding Nemo. What did Finding Nemo could ever possibly mean?
I have actually seen Finding Nemo.
Yeah,
It's,
well,
it's the main 80s ones that I haven't seen.
what's the central message? Oh, what haven't you seen? Star Wars? Is that what it is?
Star Wars, Ghostbusters, you know, any major film from
You
our
haven't
childhood.
seen... Oh, God.
I haven't seen.
He
Yeah.
does it on purpose. I think he
I
has
didn't
seen
do it
it.
on purpose. I was a child. My parents didn't take me to the cinema.
What did you think of Finding Nemo?
Oh, I found it.
Baffling.
Who are these little guys?
I care about this little
I thought it was all right. I thought it was all right. I thought it
This
flagged-
fish has got one fin smaller than the other, and yet they expect me to care about the outcome of this narrative. I've lost interest.
I thought it was a little bit by numbers. But
Why is there nobody playing the piano in this cinema? That train's coming towards me. Harold Lloyd, don't let go of that clock. You'll plummet to your doom. Okay, we're talking about lies today, such as the lie that Trevor Lock thinks that he's better and above mainstream culture. Like, you know, have you told lies? You must have. Trevor, you're always saying that people constantly tell lies, like it's part of the human condition, even like not big proper lies.
I think it's what distinguishes us from the animals. I don't think animals lie.
Nothing distinguish us from the... In your case, language doesn't distinguish you from the animals because you grunt like an orangutan.
I think animals don't lie.
I don't
And think
lie.
You do lie.
I don't lie.
You do. You're a human being.
Matthew,
But
look
that's
at
it, you can't-
drunk and belching and lying even now. Matt's cultural review will be coming up later, and Trevor's competition, this Sonic Enigma, will also be on the show. We're going to be talking to Noel Gallagher, who yesterday lied and said he was going to come and see my stand-up. I just spoke to him just now.
He's only human.
Stream of a pull, he's barely human.
He's not an animal.
And what else are we going to do on the show? I think Mairead Tabber from the Queens of Noise is going to pop down. Last week's competition winners. We'll probably do a phone call to someone. Who should we sort of ring? Perhaps we could ring Alan Carr or Noel Fielding. We could ring up a comical guest. Mr G's going to do a poem. It's going to be a nice show. Trevor, have you told a lot of lies in your life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, of course I have.
Actually, you're
It's necessary.
proud of your lying, aren't you? You
not
often
proud
say
of
you
it, I'm not.
hypnotise people and stuff like that.
That's another lie.
No, you can't hypnotise people.
Why did I hypnotise you about 2 minutes before we went on air? That's why you said the old here with Russ, because you think you're two people this morning.
Well, I wish I was, because then I could carry on with the radio show and I could get the other one to beat you silly, Trevor. Right, Matthew. So, Matthew, you claim not to lie.
I don't actually lie.
You do.
I don't. Tell me a lie I've told.
But probably all the time. Like the text messages you tell me, like when you're too tired to do things, or
Yeah, and I think like around the time we were getting sacked from Vera, there was a lot of lying going on from you. Oh, tell them that. Let's tell our mums
I was
this.
trying to protect you. When we were getting sacked from Vera...
Yeah, when we were getting sacked from a
Production.
television company for a while ago. Anyway, you text us with your lies on 64046, or you can email us at russell.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk. Happy Mondays. Should we listen to the Happy Mondays?
Yes, let's listen to the Happy Mondays.
You blithering
by
drunk.
pressing this button.
Yeah, press-
Stop saying that. No one would think I'm not drunk.
You are. You got this ridiculous lopsided grin on your face, and I have to look at you. You reek of ale. You should have seen him last night. I'm trying to encourage them both to enjoy it. Like we went out together, the three of
Oh,
us,
thanks. Tell
as
us
a
to enjoy our
team
lives,
building
Russell.
experience. We went out, and quite frankly, it's torn the team apart. Trevor Lock was snooping around after some dancer all evening. Horrendous to watch. Look at him now. He's hulking out. He's going all red and angry. His little pink shirt's unbuttoning. Oh, he's throwing down his headphones in mock anger. Matt loomed about the place, all drunk.
Don't loom. I
you
just...
are twisting your nipples again.
Stop twisting my nipples, it's quite nice. Let's listen to Happy Mondays, and I'll tell you some cold hard truths. You tell us some lies. 64046 to text us. See you in a second. That there was the Happy Mondays doing a record out of their minds. I'm Russell Brand. This is Six Music. I'm here with Matt Morgan and Trevor Lock. All right, Cocky Locky.
I'm all right. Yeah.
Talking about lies today, I've got some text messages here. Tell you what, thought my mate was lying on Friday, but now I'm not so sure. We saw a bloke in a hoodie. My mate was convinced it was Pete Postlethwaite. I didn't believe him, so I ran down the road to get another look. If it wasn't him, it was his twin, Phil Paget.
Who's Pete Postlethwaite?
He's the dad out of Name of the Father, the film about the Guildford Four.
He was also in that film about the brass band.
And then Romeo and Juliet is the thing. Oh yeah, that's good. That isn't
With
it?
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers for the last few hours, hun.
Hold on.
What's that? Cheers for the last few hours. hun. I felt something deep was between us. Still, I must get up now and drive to Wales. Moi. Is that to you, Trevor?
To me? What are you talking about?
Someone here sending personal and intimate messages.
That might be from me.
It's not dating, so do you know anyone that's driving to Wales that you've spent a few hours with?
I might have driven her to it.
You might have driven someone to leave England, to leave this glorious country on the day of our first round match because you've so troubled them.
Oh yeah, we're playing later, aren't we?
Yeah, you Ecuador.
Oh,
Ecuador.
yeah.
Get hold of yourselves. Where do you
We are playing.
So, okay, Cocky Locky, like, we're talking about lies and lies today.
Yeah.
What's this lie that you're going to tell us about? Well, actually, I'll tell you about a lie I told once, right? I was sort of going out with this girl, and of course, you know, I find it very hard to be faithful in a relationship. You know that, don't you, gents?
I do.
You've never.
Suffered. I've really suffered.
You poor man. Very difficult. Unfaithful.
I've struggled with fidelity
Mate,
these
it's your
years.
curse, and
It's a crime, but it's also its own punishment to be me. And I was going out with this girl, right, and we'd gone to see, I think it was that film King Kong. There was a bad atmosphere.
You're wearing a bow tie that's not been fully done up.
Why would I do that?
It is a bow tie.
is
Isn't
that.
it?
Yeah.
Listen, what is that non sequitur? That is the mind of a drunkard, Matthew.
No, so
are you
stop saying
wearing a
I'm
bow
drunk.
tie that's not been done up?
You are.
Russell is arrogant in his. I used to drink and take drugs and blah blah blah. Now I have a few drinks last night, and the way he attacks me, it's like I've murdered someone.
Well, to tell you the truth, Matthew, I wouldn't put it past you the way you were carried. Look at the state of you poor sod, all
Completely normal. I'm
bleary-eyed.
sitting there, I'm not bleary-eyed.
Can I get on with my lie anecdote, or is you going to come out with
carry
further
on.
accusations?
Dicky bow.
I'm not wearing a dicky bow. It looks nice. It'll be up on the webcam soon. You can have a look at it, judge for yourselves how pleasant it looks. So, I was going out, sort of seeing this girl, but, obviously I was unable to commit entirely. We went to see King Kong, and there was a bad atmosphere there.
Why was there a bad atmosphere? In the cinema or between you two?
The atmosphere in the cinema weren't that good. I don't know what it was. Because the thing would
Something to do
be...
with a huge gorilla.
It was as if there was some sort of fear of our primal nature being projected towards us on the
That always
screen.
happens on dates with you, doesn't it?
What fears of our primal nature?
I'm a tree, love me.
Hot love, hot lips. I'm a wild man. You're soft. Fwah. It's odd, some of these accusations. Anyway, we went back home, and she goes look, Russell, I think you're seeing other people, and it's getting on my nerves. I goes, I'm not seeing other people. It's simply not true. I'm not seeing any people. I just want to see you. Everything's fine. We've got to drop all this because otherwise we're not going to get along. If we can't trust each other, what point is there in us being in this relationship? For heaven's sake, look at me. I'm not lying to you. Yeah, this is me. I'm telling you the truth. Look into my eyes. I'm telling you the truth. Please, you've got to trust me. You've got to trust me, okay? Put this behind us. There's a terrible atmosphere. Come on. It's even marred our enjoyment of King Kong. And we went through it into my bedroom. I was okay, so you trust me. I'm telling you the truth. And she went to me, Russell, whose are those earrings by your bed? I went, and for about 30 seconds, pause and go, they've been there ages. I just moved something to reveal them. That's a treasure. It was a preposterous lie, just captured sort of in the moment.
Wasn't there other things though?
What do you mean?
Well, didn't she then go, and then what's this?
What's these earrings?
Yeah, and who's this woman in the toilet?
Smoking a cigarette and giggling. Yeah, no, it stopped at the earrings. That was sort of one lie that I was caught and exposed. I've got another lie in a minute to tell you. But Cocky Trevor Lockie, have you got some lies for us?
Well, lies are often thrust upon me by
What do you
circumstances.
mean lies are thrust upon you by circumstance?
I often get mistaken for other people.
I often mistake you for a person.
I've been in Italy once. I was mistaken for Cesare Casella, who was famously kidnapped by the Italian mafia and had a bit of his ear cut off.
Yes, we all remember the Cesare Cadella case.
And he was quite a celebrity, and I was once mistaken for him, and the girl was quite pretty, so I went along with it.
So you lied?
Yeah.
Russell, stop eating fruit into the microphone. It's
You pretended to be a kid. Nice to eat a bit of fruit down the microphone. Good radio to hear a man eating pineapples first thing of a morning. All right, put it down. Blimey, it's draconian in here. Go on then, Trev. So you pretended to be this person being kidnapped.
Yeah, which it was difficult for me because obviously I didn't speak any Italian.
How did you pass this off?
My friend said to her that I was mute from the trauma, and all I can remember was this
This is
girl
disgusting.
just sort of stroking me and going, "Ah, sì, che trauma, che trauma."
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the only person that's been traumatised is this poor girl. She's the true victim in all this. Suddenly I don't feel sorry for the bloke that was kidnapped. The crime really lies with you, Trevor.
No, that's all right.
Trevor, why did you do that?
Because it just seemed like the right
Did you
thing
get
to
the
do.
girl from that? Or did
No.
she just rub you and say, "Kid trauma"?
She just rubbed me a lot.
all you were
I didn't know what to do.
Regardless of lies, most of Trevor's dates end up with a woman stroking him and saying, "What trauma? What trauma?" Because essentially, that's what dating you is, Trevor Locke.
I've done it with Leonardo DiCaprio as well. I pretended to be his brother.
Is it to Leonardo DiCaprio?
Not to him.
Leo, I'm your brother. Let the good times roll. What?
No. Why am I going to do that to him? No.
Well, probably you want something from him. I don't know what motivates you anymore, Trevor. It seems to be the kind of naked lust that motivates serial killers.
No, if somebody presents me with a situation, I tend to go along with it rather than, So if somebody says, "Are you?"
Well, you say yes to the universe. Is that what
Exactly,
you're saying?
yeah,
It's some sort of. You're going to make it a philosophical stance, are you, as opposed to just being a fiendish little liar?
Sometimes I deliberately dress up as a different person.
Who?
But that's.
What on earth is he talking about?
What? Who do you sometimes deliberately dress up as?
Once I disguised myself as a Peruvian naval officer.
Peru.
Why, Trevor, do
Always
you
with
persist with pretending to be some sort of South American admiralty?
I don't persist in it anymore. I gave up. I just did
If
it
I
once.
did that slip, you'd go, "You drunken buffoon."
Because if you did it, that would be why it was. Go on, so right, you pretended to be a Peruvian naval officer as well, did you?
Well, I had an extraordinary experience once, and so I thought I needed to sort of have a ceremonial acknowledgement of that.
What was that? That's it. He was off taking drugs in a jungle. That's
Yeah.
what it was essentially, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that. And then came out and I went to a shop and got fitted out in a naval officer's uniform.
See, most people with that, I don't know, if most people took peyote or whatever it was in the South American jungle as some sort of spiritual experience, the madness would stay in the jungle. Trevor, you marched off immediately to a tailor's and said, "Do me up like Pinochet."
Yeah. I mean, it sounds worse than it was, but, it's really like if you graduate from a college, you have a little funny hat on, don't you?
Yeah.
Or, the passing out ceremony when you're in the army.
I suppose.
And I thought, I've escaped from this horrific experience.
So let's dress up as a naval officer.
Yeah.
Trevor, OK, we'll quiz you about that further later. You can text us your lies on 64046 or email us at russell.6music@bbc.co.uk. Let's listen to the Avalanches now and just reflect for a while on Trevor's mind. That there's the Avalanches, frontier psychiatrist they call that. You listen to Russell Brand on Six Music. I'm here with Trevor Locke and Matt Morgan doing our radio show. We're talking about lies. Someone here, it's Addy. All right, Addy, you think of good suggestions for Trevor's challenges sometimes. Trevor's MySpace existence is a lie of sorts, wouldn't you all agree? That's from Addy. Yes, it is, because Trevor masquerades
It's
in a...
obviously a lie. I mean, it's not a lie, is it? Saying
Well,
you're a 17-year-old lesbian is not...
Best way to ensnare other 17-year-old lesbians, Trevor.
But not when you've got a picture of my
very
face.
cunning lie. Trevor, you could easily be a 17-year-old lesbian. Anyone who's looked at you for more than a moment will know that. This is from Jet. Russell, put some shoes on and tell Trevor he looks sexy today. Bet he won't read this out because it's a compliment to Trevor. Thanks. That's from Rose West. No, it's from Jet. It's from Jet.
From Jet, the gladiator.
I believe it might be the Gladiator. This is another one. This is from Baby Brickbat, or at least that's their email name. I can't imagine their parents would have called them that, unless it was in a blind rage. If you think animals never lie, Trevor Locke, why do you hate them so? Interesting question.
Well, I don't hate animals.
Why kill them then? Why kill them and torture
Because
them?
you need to control them.
To control them.
If that person is not a vegetarian, fair enough.
What if they're not a vegetarian?
They are a vegetarian.
What's wrong with you?
Either way, fair enough.
Okay,
Live and let live.
this is an interesting email, you pair. This is from Monty. It says, animals are constantly deceiving each other just to stay alive. When chimpanzees are foraging for food, a chimp who comes across something tasty will occasionally pretend not to have noticed the food,
Really?
as not to alert the nearby chimps and lose his prize. Sometimes a competitor chimp will walk past the pretending chimp, then hide behind a tree and peep out to see if the pretending chimp really does have some food. Trevor, I'm surprised you didn't identify it, because all this pretending and peeping just sounds like you on MySpace. Some orchids deceive male insects by looking like their female partners and getting free pollination and fooling the male into thinking it's lucky day. We've all been there, says Monty. Nice email. See you, Trev.
So hang on, we
My
haven't
theory is
actually
a
set up
sham.
the fact that Trevor thinks animals don't lie, and that sets us aside from them.
That's what I think makes us human.
That's what makes
They're
us
on
unique.
that natural, like Venus flytraps.
I know.
are a lie.
My theory is just crumbled.
It's crumbled, isn't it? One little shred of evidence. That makes me think, Trevor, because you're always lording out. What about that time Trevor Locke told me? He said to me that time is perpetual and constant and cyclical. So everyone you've ever met at some point has been your father, your son, your mother, or your brother. So always be nice to everyone.
Stupid.
Made up lie,
I
probably.
didn't say that. Buddha said that.
It was not Buddha. Don't blame Buddha, Trevor. I suppose it's Buddha, is it, that set up a page on MySpace to lure teenage lesbians? Is that Buddha's fault? Is that Siddhartha sat under a tree going, "Oh, I'll tell you what the young girls will like"? You sicken me, cocky lucky.
Nietzsche.
Well, there's a world of difference. But
Eternal recurrence. It's a well-known theory.
Trevor, when you say Nietzsche, it sounds like the title to a Chas and Dave song. You have the basic... Nietzsche. There's death. We're capable of being supermen. Nietzsche. Go on, Hitler. Have a go again. Nietzsche. Right. I just wanted to say I'm loving the show, says Lydia, and she likes listening to the iPod podcast. Download the podcast. iPod podcast. Oh, technology. Terminator 2. Watch out. The robots will turn against us any day now. It's like a radio show by Ned Ludd. What are all these buttons? What is this machine? I'm not talking into this black phallus for another moment.
Calm down.
Yes, Lydia is doing some cancer research today.
Up.
Will you please? Lydia's doing some... She's not doing cancer research because she's not qualified, but she is doing a run to raise money for cancer research. Good luck with that, Lydia.
Good on her.
Thank you very much, because we don't really contribute anything to research.
Society.
To society. Trevor, you just see society as a giant bank account, don't you, from which to withdraw lesbians.
You do charity work, don't you?
Yep, for Focus 12. What?
Well, there you go.
There you are, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a nice man, aren't I?
Down.
My worst lie would have to be when I told my Catholic mum, says Kate Dawson, when I told my Catholic mum, because she's got a Buddhist one, she's got a Hindu one, but she told her Catholic mum that, she said, I told my Catholic mum that I was pregnant when I was 15. At the time, it seemed like a good idea. I was drunk. What kind of childhood is this?
She's got that the wrong way round, surely.
But then she went nuts and ran into my room and packed my case. I told her I was just kidding, but she didn't believe me. I ended up spending my night on a bench that smelled like pee. Oh,
these Catholics, they're weird, aren't they?
I'd like
Catholic.
attack Catholicism because I don't think we can blame an entire religious ideology for one girl telling her mum she was pregnant. I don't think
she's Catholic. Her mum's Catholic. She was a...
I reckon she must be, because it's hereditary, isn't it, Catholicism?
No, it's a...
Richard Dawkins goes, it's ridiculous to go, this baby is a Muslim, because it's like going, this baby supports Tottenham. It's like, you know, it's an abstract... This baby is an avid Spurs fan. You can see it in his eyes. Yeah. OK, we're going to have the news now for a little bit. I'm going to tell you some fantastic lies that I've just remembered that I told my mum growing up after the news. But coming out of the news, it's going to be Steady As She Goes, is it, from the Raconteurs? That'd be exciting. So a bit of news, then the Raconteurs, then more lies. I'll tell you a lot of lies that I told on this show. Trevor Locke saying that you'll issue prizes. Matt Morgan saying issue prizes. Prizes that never come. Listen to the news and we'll chat more later. Ta-da!
BBC Six Music.
Six Music, the Raconteurs, Steady As She Goes. I'm not proud of you, Matt Morgan.
Sounds like the Pixies, doesn't it?
And Cocky Lucky. I mean, you say that it sounds like the Pixies, Matt, and I don't want to contradict you. Fair enough, you like to do the etymology of tunes, and that's your business. But what I'd suggest in future is you don't do it for a wall of sherry. Future.
You can't talk today.
Well, I'll tell you why. That's because I've been under a lot of pressure from the government lately.
That's a lie.
No, I haven't. They've been nice to me. We're talking about lies today.
Oh, we haven't even done this. But
there we are. That illustrates the idea of lies. Well, that gives the show a bit of value, doesn't it? Little touches like that. Young Darren from Belfast. Well, I mean, I say he's young, you know, he could be an octogenarian. It's just you don't meet people called Darren generally that are over the age of, say, 60, do you? I told my teacher, says Darren, I couldn't do my homework because my dad died, but he was very much alive! ! The parent-teacher interviews were rather awkward, says old Darren. Funny to tell that lie.
I remember that. That, you know,
I bet you've told those lies, because Matt claims he's never lied.
I don't really lie, actually, ever.
That is a lie. You've just told a lie now.
I don't.
Matthew, what about this lie you just told about childhood when you were smothered in urine?
I wet myself.
Disgusting for a start.
Yourself? And I said, no, it's sweat.
I
was a
you
child.
lied to your mum.
That's the last lie you've told.
Disgusting. Yeah, but that was this morning, Trevor. Let's be honest, the poor boy. I've put on a poor Scottish accent several times when the bank's called me, pretending that I've just bought the phone and I've never heard of myself, John. I've never heard of myself. I don't know who I am.
I've just remembered something very funny
from
about
John.
you, Russell.
What's that?
I remember when
Go on then, hurry up, you big gloating, indulgent drunk.
When you used to... Shut up saying I'm drunk.
Go on then,
unprofessional.
tell the story. It's not unprofessional to say you're drunk, it's unprofessional to be drunk.
Russell used to pretend to be his own agent when he was not that famous. I remember hearing him on the phone, but he used to phone up places and go...
Spearmint Rhino, I believe this was. Other lap dancing clubs are available.
He phoned up lap dancing clubs and goes, "Hello, I'm Russell Brand's agent. I'm called Jock McGee." He used to have a stupid name, and he could have just gone, "Oh, hello, I'm phoning up on behalf of Russell Brand," but instead he turned it into a massive Oscar-winning performance as some sort of huge Scottish man.
Jock McGee here. Will you look after my bairn? He'll be coming there. Do not make him wear difficult shoes on arrival.
I'll need him to have on the guest list. He's a very important guy. Plus
Give the
one.
guy a booth. Yeah.
Why did you used to do that?
Because then you get into the lap dancing
Did that
club
work?
for nothing, and they look after you.
He used to do it all the time. What was the name of the agent you used to have?
I don't know, it was really something like Jack Starburst. It was all like, it's ridiculous.
But it
ridiculous
worked,
name.
didn't it? It got you in.
Did work, yeah. That's when, the old days, I don't know what I was thinking, I weren't well. I heard Trevor say that animals don't lie. They do lie. This is Wendy. Wendy says they were running an experiment in America with a gorilla, teaching him how to sign. One day the gorilla got very cross and pulled a sink which was in his cell off the wall. Witnessed on CCTV. It says in brackets, "You're not going to get away with this, guy, okay? We all saw what you done." Just to add to the story, the gorilla had a pet kitten. When asked in sign language what happened, the gorilla said that the kitten had done it. It's a lying gorilla. I'm very sorry about this, but that kitten you gave him, and he's a lovely friend, and I enjoy his company enormously, but he's a boor and a yobbo. He should pull that sink off the wall. To tell the truth, I think he's on drugs.
This can't be true.
I think it is true. This story was in a national newspaper. I can't remember which one, and it's true. Wendy Parker. Wendy, we need more information on that. It's a
How would it
brilliant
have
story.
gone? The kitten did it.
In sign language, someone would have gone, "What happened
Why would
to
they
that
have
sink?"
taught him how to say something else did something?
They wouldn't. They'd have asked him a question.
What
like,
happened? Did
what
you break that
happened there?
sink? He would have gone, "Kitten, kitten, kitten me not like bad medicine."
I just reckon
Well
he's not
funny.
very good. I reckon he didn't learn the sign language properly, and he could only say kitten. He probably said kitten to everything.
Well,
Are you
I-
hungry? I'd like to eat a kitten.
Trevor! You'd like to eat a kitten because it would give you one of your animal-killing sex kicks.
But that's weird, isn't it? Sometimes when you do see a cute little kitten, you do want to eat it. Don't
No, I don't.
No, Trev, no one except you wants to. If there's another single person on this planet that wants to kill and eat kittens when they see them, let us know. Adam, our
sometimes when you
producer,
see a
shaking his head
you wanna
shocked.
nuzzle
The
it.
people watching us are discussing. Yeah, nuzzle it, cuddle it.
No, you see a little child, you think they're so. Oh, I could eat them.
You think it, Trev, and most of us leave it there. Most of us don't then think, and if I were to lie to his parents and make myself his babysitter, perhaps I could chomp into his
Don't be
wrists.
silly. You know what I'm talking about. Isn't that weird?
No, what's weird is you, Trevor. That's not weird. This is not a phenomenon. We're not discussing a bizarre phenomenon. Oh, isn't it strange, the feeling you get? You're talking, this is just one
You've
of
never
your
been
kinks.
with a girl and
Oh, God.
Come on,
Here we
Trev.
go.
I mean, we know that's not true. Now we know you're bonkers. Now we've got, this is an email from Matt. We all behave differently with our parents than we do with our friends, and differently again in front of our work colleagues. Are we then not all guilty of the biggest lie of all, of not being true to ourselves? That's from Matt. Well, what is the nature of
That
self?
is a form. Yeah, that's one form of lying in a way. If that is a lie, whereas like I'll be, where you sort of are different people with different.
Of course you are. Self is an amorphous idea, of course, isn't it, Trevor?
The other night when we went to that party, the wrong Russell turned up.
Oh yeah, we went to sort of a big glamorous party, and I felt sometimes when I'm in a big glamorous environment, I go sort of all spiritual and feel sort of fragile and delicate. I sort of think, what's wrong? I'm a child of God. Why am I in this place? In fact, I tell you, who I become like that lad out of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, who's the Maharaj.
Never happen in my kingdom.
Again, that little lad, like that Mullah Ram tries to kill the swine.
That's why I don't go to those parties anymore.
You like those parties,
I
Matthew.
don't.
You
That's why I
flourish
didn't
there.
go to that one you went to.
Yeah, well, there's more lies in the Mirror today about. It says that I was like Peaches Geldof. Peaches Geldof, who's very nice. I've met her. Right, well, it seems that if you meet someone in the paper, that counts as trying to marry them. Sex addict brand after St. Bob's daughter. Now Russ is peachy keen. Watch out, Sir Bob Geldof. It's time to lock up your daughters, especially 17-year-old Peaches. I can reveal self-confessed sex addict Russell Brand. I'm not a self-confessed sex addict. I'm not addicted to sex. Is after her. Brand was all over Pretty Peaches at the open of Jezebel nightclub in London's Shepherd Bush on Friday. All that happened was I spoke to her briefly. It was a fairly innocuous story. Wasn't she nice though? She's a nice person.
Very nice.
Seemed sweet. She seemed bright. nice. I quite liked her. Now then, we're talking about lies. That was a filthy lie in the mirror there. Exaggeration, I suppose. Yeah, we'll let him off with exaggeration. There's a good story about me in Mail yesterday. We'll talk about that in a second. But I just want to tell you about this lie that I told as a child. It's a bit odd, this. So, but, you know, brace yourselves. I once, right, when I was about 8, told my mum, I goes, right, check this out. I was about 8, right? I goes to my mum, Mummy, I was just going for a wee, and my dinkle went stiff and Jif came out. Right, and I'd sprayed Jif around this toilet and goes, there you go, there's all the evidence you need. And then just went off to be alone with my thoughts. And
What did she say?
She goes, oh, don't worry about that, Russell, you're just mad. she goes, don't worry about that, that's normal. She goes, oh, you're just extraordinarily, you know, that's just very mature for your age, that's surprising, that's just, you know, that just happens when you grow up.
She actually thought something had come out?
Yeah, of course she did. When you love a toilet, when a boy and a toilet love each other very much, they get certain urges.
Hang on a minute, you were 8 and she believed that you had...
Well, the evidence was all over the toilet. She had very little choice.
Jif's all grey and gritty.
To tell you the truth, it was incredibly prescient of me. So what do you think of that, guys? How do you like them apples?
But I think when you're that age, you tell lies to sort of work out what the truth is and what people will believe and what can...
To work out the parameters of life. Trevor, notice you're wearing a couple of bracelets today. What the hell is going on?
These are props from a show that I'm doing, and I've accidentally...
Are you playing Carmen
What a
Miranda?
lie.
What's going on?
You can't wear two similar... You can't wear two identical bracelets on each hand.
Tell that to the props department at Channel 4.
All right, Trev.
Why are you
we'll tell them a few other things about you murdering animals and cruising MySpace and all. We'll get you out of that job.
It's a secret, isn't it?
But why are you wearing them?
Because I've accidentally left them on. When I took the rest of my costume off, I left this on.
I saw you earlier looking at them.
Yeah, I am looking
admiring them on yourself, so it's not like...
Yeah, you were, Trev. You could take them off. You obviously like it.
If I take them off, I'll lose them, and then when I go back to do the rest of it, it'll be incongruous.
This is from Stephen McLeod. I'm just switching off from you lot.
McLeod. What an idiot.
Well,
McLeod, you twit.
Well, it says McLeod here. They should make that clear. I once pretended I was Danish in a nightclub to pick up a lovely young lady one fine summer's evening. I was keeping out for 2 hours, just pretending I was Danish. Hey, I'm Danish, you know. Well, why is that going to impress anybody?
Is that a euphemism again, do you think?
I don't. I really hope not. I could almost hear the question coming, what are you doing afterwards, until my friend stepped in and told her I weren't Danish. I think he was jealous. Honestly, some people have no sense of humour. That's from Lebowski or Stephen McLeod or McLeod, depending on your viewpoint.
Don't do that at all.
It's nothing to do with viewpoint, it's just McLeod.
Really, this is not something that's subjective. Okay, well, we're going to have a little trail, and then we're going to hear the Concretes, You Can't Hurry Love. That'd be exciting.
Is that the Motown cover?
No, it's a different song.
Let's have a listen to it. You really can't hurry, love, unless you're Trevor Lock, then you'll just jolly it along on MySpace. This is Russell Brand on 6 Music. I'm here with Matt Morgan and Trevor Lock. We're talking about lies, dirty lies. Sue says, my cat lies on a daily basis. Only yesterday he told me that Eddie Murphy used to play for Bolton Wanderers. I had to go on the net to prove him wrong. Thank you, Sue.
What, her cat?
Yeah, but she's mucking about, isn't she?
She's mucking about, that's another lie, isn't it?
People are allowed to muck about. Trevor, do you leave all your MySpace comments in Spanish, or are you just testing my linguistic skills? Philippa, another victim of Web Crusader Trevor Lock.
I'm telling you, what, have I left a... Oh, I can't believe I would have done that.
Right, this is Luke is joining in with us, because you know we're going to do some challenges for Trevor. Luke says, here's a list of challenges for Trevor. I'm assuming you have biscuits during the show. Well, that's an erroneous assumption. We do not have biscuits.
The world that they think we live in.
Oh, they think we're living in the lap of luxury. It's not like Caesar's palace.
Why does he say that?
That's what he thinks it's like.
Well, listen, it's because he's going onto a challenge. Pour a proper load of salt on top of Trevor's biscuit, then get him to eat it. Trevor's biscuit. With some of the leftover salt, get Trevor to sniff up some of the salt. Then get then get some darts, maybe not real ones because it would hurt, and get some kind of paper target and stick it on Trev's ball bag area. Russell and Matt have 3 goes each to launch the dart thing into Trev's Dick King Smith area. Then play a sound clip of Bill Sykes from Oliver calling his dog Bullseye. That would be quite good fun. Make Trevor phone up his parents, claiming in fact that he is a closet homosexual. I don't think he could do anything else to upset his family. Make Trevor stay awake for 72 hours. If he doesn't, he loses money somehow. He's not fully administrated that task.
He's rushing through.
There's probably some sort of penalty.
It's quite funny to get you to phone up your parents and tell them you're gay.
You should do that on air.
Someone once.
Who did you phone and tell you're gay?
I didn't. I met up with an old school friend, and it was Christmas Eve. I hadn't seen him for a few years. And I just told him I
It
was
sounds like
gay.
your friend was Christmas Eve. It sounds like you were going out with some Dickensian spirit of the nativity.
No, it was a man, and
You met up with him and told him you were gay?
it wasn't. I
Why
didn't
did you fancy
arrange
him?
up to meet up with him. It's just I bumped into him in the pub.
No, I'm gay. Why do you do these things,
I
Trev?
don't know. I find it fun to lie sometimes. See what I can get away
Yeah,
with.
see, he's mad.
How did he react, this fellow?
He was shocked because I was a bit of a weird one at school. Yes.
No, Trevor, you surprised me with all the murdering of animals, the having a paper dragon called Ricky, and you were looked upon as some sort of outcast. Bizarre, I must say. Get Trevor to have an arm wrestle with Russell. Loser has to eat more salt. Loser has
That's
to
still
eat
going on.
salt.
That's an intricate fantasy that man's got.
You've got a really intricate fantasy. Get Trevor to leave chocolate coins in a tramp's hat. That's quite good. Luke, that's cold.
It's not very good radio, though, is
It
it?
sounds lovely. That it's a beautiful bit of language.
Trevor, get out there and leave chocolate coins in a tramp's hat. Get Russell and Matt to spit on Trevor's hand. Trevor then has to lick it up whilst it's still mildly lukewarm. And being as how his name's Luke, there's an area of eroticism
Is that Luke,
there. Yes,
Trevor's
his young
hating?
balmy Luke. Get Trevor to reveal a kiss and tell where he and Bob Geldof got off in a boys' lavvy in '92. Don't do that.
That was a rumour.
Maybe even phone up the Mirror claiming the story was Trevor's first indecent experience. Get Trevor to phone Noel Gallagher's house claiming that Noel has created a baby with Trevor's imaginary wife and that Noel's son is now 7, who Trevor has named Bitchums and wants to meet his dad. Then get him to ask if there are any free concert tickets for him and Noel's son.
Hang on a minute. Is this all from one
This is all
person?
from Luke.
Luke is.
I like
rather-
Luke.
Yeah, I don't. I'm frightened of him.
Come on, what emails have you lot got then?
Well, the ones you've given me are rubbish, and they
Don't attack people
can't
like that.
actually
They're
be
nice
read out.
emails.
No, I mean that they're unreadable.
Why? What do you mean?
It's all about
Probably because
sex.
you're so blind drunk you can't decipher the language.
Oh, do you want me to read them out?
Read one out, and if it says a swear word, just, euphemise. Change it.
All right, this is from Aaron. Oh, didn't hear the first 20 minutes. Did Trevor have the dead birds in his mouth? No, we didn't do that.
Yeah, we couldn't do that because that's wrong, isn't
And
it?
then this line, I've woken up with a sore bum. Does Trevor know anything about this?
Interesting.
Come on, who's that from? You've made
Aaron.
That
Aaron.
Aaron,
It's
You've
there,
made that Trevor.
Are
You
you
shouldn't be
supposed
so
to do the
surprised
Jeremy
at that.
Irons voice for this, aren't you?
Go on
Is that
then.
him? Oh,
Yeah,
right. Do you
yeah.
want me to do
Come
that?
on.
I'll do the. Oh yeah, Aaron's the Jeremy Irons
Yeah,
voice.
isn't it? All right.
Luckily, this isn't live, so we can edit it out.
Brilliant. Go on then, do your Jeremy Irons
What?
voice then.
It's stupid. It says about having a sore bum. It's weird.
All right, we'll do it then.
All right, didn't hear the first 20 minutes. Did Trevor have the dead birds in his mouth? I've woken up with a sore bum. Does Trevor know anything about this?
Good to do that
Aaron.
voice.
Stupid voice.
So we're listening to Prefab Sprout now, are we?
Yeah,
this is-
he doesn't like it. I think
don't-
Prefab Sprout is a good band.
Let's have a listen and we'll judge them on their merits. We're talking about lies and stuff like that. Text us on 64046. Email us on that email address. I can't keep saying that. It's mind-numbing. So and we'll all have a little chat and join in. Let's get someone on the phone, have a chat with someone.
Yeah, let's ring someone up.
Prefab Sprout now, though. Well, that was Prefab Sprout. Matthew, did it change your view?
Rubbish.
Don't say that.
Complete waste of time,
It's not a
Trevor.
waste of time.
Trevor, he's allowed
Why?
his
What's
opinions.
wrong
Don't
with it?
oppress
I just don't
people.
like it.
This is from Rihanna in Kidderminster. Our friend's son stood proudly in the doorway of her sitting room, did a massive wee, and then insisted it was hot chocolate. Classy kid. Rihanna in Kidderminster. When I was 4, this is from Hot Hottie. When I was 4, I whizzed on the floor and blamed it on the dog. Sadly, though, they knew it was me because apparently my urine had a distinctive smell. Oh, it obviously lives in a family of detectives. Yeah, interesting stuff. So we're talking about lies, dirty lies. Matthew, what was that lie you were on about earlier?
What?
Didn't you say something about claiming that a flasher had attacked you?
Oh, yeah. When I was at a disco when I was a little kid.
Why were you at a disco as a little kid? Were you a rent boy? What kind of childhood did you have?
Yeah,
A disco is no place for a child unless that child is working in the sex industry. Even then, the foundations of it are at best morally dubious.
There are school discos,
That's,
aren't there?
that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I thought it
Russell
might have been
obviously
that.
didn't go to anything like that. He wasn't told about them.
I
other
wasn't
ones.
welcome at school
I'm
discos.
claiming Jiff had come out of his willy.
If you want to clean the bath, here's a laugh, use me. Why waste money on Jif?
Yeah, and there was this. do you remember at school when there was always rumours about things, and there was rumours about a girl had seen a flasher, but I didn't know what a flasher was, and I imagined it was someone with a light, like they opened their coat and there was a light bulb or some sort of, like, I just thought it was like...
So it was literally a flash. You didn't understand why the word flash would be there.
And so we were at this disco, and I looked out the window and went, I've just seen the flasher.
Why? What had you seen?
Nothing. I'd seen
You'd seen nothing?
Just did it to...
It was a lie?
Yeah.
Another lie.
As a kid... And then they stopped the music, the priest... because
Really? The record scratch shop?
No,
right, there's a flasher.
It wasn't like that. They stopped the disco. Everyone had to stand in the middle, and the priest who was running
disco.
It's a Catholic disco.
Catholic disco, blimey.
It caused a big thing, and they had to go out and search for him. And
The theme of today's disco is Catholicism. Okay. No one use a condom.
There's more to it than that. Not that I'm
What,
a
Catholicism?
Catholic,
Though, let's
but
be
yeah,
honest.
but that's all you ever... Whenever you mention Catholicism, Russell goes, you're not allowed to use condoms.
That's because it's causing AIDS in the third world. And I thought that's the biggest aspect of it. I mean, it's nice to have a religion.
That's not why there's AIDS in the third world.
It is.
though.
It's not helping.
It's the
It's
main
not
reason.
helping, Matt.
Catholicism is a very popular religion.
It's
in
ever so
Catholic in
popular out
Africa,
there.
are they?
Huh?
I don't know what goes on, Matthew, in the world. All I know is I once saw a documentary and I thought I'd quote it now. Don't press me on the subject. I only had a very shallow pool of knowledge which has now been emptied.
Can't even say knowledge. You can't talk today.
I don't feel very well, actually.
Why?
I
What's
stayed
wrong
up
with
too late. I feel unusual. Yeah. Yeah, I feel just a little bit tired and stuff. Well, all right, let's go in. Listen to the Zootons, Valerie. Then we'll have a chat with some people.
Okay, what, we're going to get a caller?
Yeah, we might as well. Let's talk to Luke or something. See what he's up to today. Let's listen to the Zootons.
Zoo 6 Music.
Valerie by the Zootons there. You know those challenges we talk about for Trevor Locke, 6 Music, Russell Brand? We say, let's think of a challenge for Trev. There's been some interesting challenges, mostly from old Luke. But this is a good one, I think, from Curtis in Leicester. Curtis says, I think that Trevor should be made to talk like Grandad from Only Fools and Horses for the rest of the show.
Yes.
Do it, Trev.
Do you remember how he spoke?
No, I don't.
Dill boy, sort of like that. What's that Dill boy and the Dill boy? No, I'm doing too much Dill Cotton.
That's Uncle Albert.
Oh, Dill, who's that Dill? I don't know.
Come on, Trevor, try.
Trevor, you just have to do an approximation. It can be generic.
Then.
That's rubbish. Good bit. I think he should be. Are we going to say that's going to happen, Russ?
Oh, what's
Is he going to do that?
I don't want to do that.
Talk like that.
Read that out, Matthew. That's another one from Aaron in your Jeremy
Oh,
Irons
God,
voice.
there's loads to read in that voice.
Read it out, Matthew.
Hello there. The lemon challenge was a huge success. The dead bird in the mouth seemed immoral, even to Trevor. But now I have your next challenge. I trust you don't mind getting mucky. The next...
Don't go, in your stupid Dartford voice during it.
That's my stupid Dartford voice. That's my voice.
Which is
Your
stupid and
stupid
derived
Essex
from
voice.
Dartford.
Right, do you want me to carry on?
Yes! Not in that Dartford voice.
That's not
Do
the
the
Dartford
Aaron
voice.
voice.
That's my actual voice.
Do the Aaron voice.
Your next challenge is to fill your pockets with
This is ridiculous.
feces. Perhaps that of a horse, easily available from a garden centre, and then place everyday items that you use each day, such as a pen, a wallet, a compass, into those feces-filled pockets. Then, when you get these items out, your hands will be covered in poo, and shop assistants or pen borrowers... This is drivel.
No, I
Aaron
like it. I think it's a good idea.
will look
I think
at you
should
in a
do it.
way that will make you feel degraded, and you will have to look them in the eyes and say, "There's poo on my hands." Can we change it next week to degrade Trevor?
Yeah, okay. Perhaps we can change it. What do you think of that, Trev?
I think that's horrible.
That's...
In the Grandad voice?
I think that's horrible.
I think that's horrible, Del. Come on,
Ridiculous
try
business.
harder.
I don't know. I never watched Only Fools and Horses. I don't know how it goes.
Okay, let's listen to Blind Melon, and when we come back, we'll talk about that ridiculous story in the Daily Mail a little bit. And we've got loads of people in here that we should talk to, competition winners, all sorts of people out there. There's a harem gathering outside there. Christ alone knows what's going on. I'm not looking at them as a harem. Right, let's listen to Blind Melon now, Matt, and then we'll get on with our lives. That's No Rain, Blind Melon. You listen to Russell Brand on 6 Music, and with Matt Morgan, Trevor Locke. Do you enjoy that old beam?
I like that song, yes.
Nice, isn't it?
When I was a teenager.
Talking about lies today, so there's this story yesterday in the Daily Mail. A Modern Rake's Progress is about me. It's by Alison Boshoff, or Boshoff, Alison Boshoff at the Daily Mail. Right, it talks about me. There's a lot of lies in here, saying about well, what it seems to be saying is that I'm a construction, Matthew and Trevor. Like that I'm.
are.
What, in what respects?
Well, everyone is a construction in
Yeah,
a
no,
way.
but so
You
it's
have to
saying
construct yourself.
specifically a construction. I mean, I suppose we're all an amalgamation of experiences and ideas and stuff like that. Because that's the main problem with, or like that Alison Boshoff seems to have with me, is like she's sort of saying that I've reinvented myself as it says that. Born into home county's gentility. I was born in Grace. Gentility? It weren't gentle, it was a horrible place. Awful, rough. Bullying went on, swearing, spitting in the streets, victimisation. Russell Brand reinvented himself as a drug-taking, womanising dad. He didn't reinvent himself as a drug taker, I was a drug addict.
This is because who you are, the sort of person you are, and like it angers the Daily Mail because you're someone who's taken drugs and then come back from it, so that makes their sort of what they're like.
Their
with drugs.
stance is, drugs kill
Drugs
you,
will
and
kill
nothing
you.
else.
Oh look, this person hasn't died from drugs and he's quite intelligent and stuff. It's just they're trying to attack you.
Yeah, reinvented himself as a drug-taking, womanising dandy. His reward, a lucrative TV career. How very 21st century.
Is that what it says?
That's that how very 21st century.
Oh God,
That
that
is a lie,
newspaper is a. Oh, I hate that newspaper. Awful.
For Brand, though, the coverage in the down market press led to the kind of publicity that was absolute catnip. That's amazing.
I love it. I love the phrase.
Why catnip? Why would any human want catnip? It's aimed at the cat market, surely, catnip, mostly. It was immediately booked on Friday night with Jonathan Ross, and within days his agent was fielding offers from major broadcasters. The buzz only served to fuel Brand's raging narcissism. Well, I'm a bit vain. Within days he was making passes at Pop Poppett's Myling Class and Danny Minogue. Making passes are simply waving at. Just sort of said hello to him.
Well, making passes.
Oh, you can look. I mean, I think the only reason I really talk to people is to see if I can get sex out of them. Except for you pair, of course. Where's
God
this?
for that.
You do look a bit posh in that picture, though.
Good. I'm glad I look posh. I look nice.
Home county's gentility. I've met your mum and dad, and
They're scum of the earth. Ron and
that
Barbara.
didn't sound bad. I don't mean that. Just they're normal people, like
Yeah.
my mum and dad.
Gentility tends to mean that you're landed and
I'm landed. You ain't got no
you
land.
ain't got no land.
Mind you, he did just have a go at me for having a Dartford accent.
Yeah, well, come on, Matt. We've come a long way, baby. What's this ridiculous business here? Because he was well paid, his drug use escalated. This is talking about the MTV days. I'd spend my days interviewing pop stars and my evenings in crack houses. Well, that's true.
That was
I suppose.
true. You
Yeah,
did
happen.
go some mad
Did go
places.
crack. Horrible places, crack
Do you
houses.
remember when someone tried to shoot you?
Yeah. So I went to buy some crack and heroin once from an estate. And
Russell phoned me up and goes, "Yeah, I just went to buy some drugs and someone shot at me from a tower block." And I went, "What? Are you all right?" Yeah, it hit the taxi. I said,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, what happened?" He goes, "There was a small dent in it. Basically, someone had shot at him with an air gun."
it was a tiny gun, but if it hit me, it would have hurt.
That would have stung, wouldn't it?
It would have really stung. Oh, you shot me then. It really hurt. You're a bully. I only pinched you. I was joking, but you're serious when you done it.
Just like Tupac, your life, innit?
I'm a bit like a modern-day white two-pack from middle-class gentility in the Shires. Because he was well-paid, his drug use escalated. All right, Brand was often so intoxicated that his behaviour verged on the insane. On one occasion, he brought a piglet into work in a blanket, pretending it was a baby. I did not bring a piglet to work and pretend it was a baby. Right, everyone, I'm at work now. If you're
would you get a
wondering what's
piglet
inside
from?
this blanket, it's a baby. Why is it oinking and pooing itself and looking like a piglet? Don't question yourself with that. As you rightly pointed out, Matthew, that is from Alice in Wonderland, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like a piglet, someone pretending that a piglet's a baby, or a baby
She
turning
has
a
a
piglet.
baby and then she looks down and it's turned into a piglet.
They're literally taking things from Lewis Carroll.
But I
He
think-
followed a white rabbit down a hole and then ended up in a crazy world where playing cards were treated as royalty. It was bonkers there. Brand had it off with one, then collapsed into a sack. It's nonsense.
But we did have a pig's head. Do you remember Antoine Showbiz?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I suppose what this has come from is we did have a severed pig's head that we put on top of a baby's body.
toddler's body. We had it in
Not a
little
real
pushchair.
toddler, a toy one. And then we said it was called Antoine Show Business, and we took it out and let it live the life of Riley.
But he certainly wasn't alive and it wasn't a piglet.
It wasn't a piglet. Well, you'd have to be cruel to get a live piglet and treat it like a baby. And then, would you? I mean, would you breastfeed it? Where'd you
Well,
go?
it depends if you're a brood. If you're a time of month, you might be having a sort of phantom
Trevor, I
pregnancy.
don't know about you, but I don't menstruate, and I certainly don't have phantom pregnancies in which I think I need a piglet to fulfil
You
my
get
phantom
broody though
pregnancy.
sometimes, don't you?
I do. I really want children actually
Exactly,
now.
there you are, you see.
But I would never think I'll get a piglet in the
One day
meanwhile.
you might be so desperate and lonely that but that's what we have.
Trevor, if
pets. Your pet, you
desperation and
treat your-
loneliness is all that's required, I would be surrounded now. I'd be like a Fagin
I
character.
don't think you should have children because your cat's a nervous wreck.
My cat is not a nervous wreck. He's
It
very
is, though.
confident.
He is now.
We've discussed this on the show before. We have to change our energy around it.
Change your energy, man. You're upsetting the cat. I'll tell you why that is. Because you've got to stomp around in hobnail boots. You drunk, and you've got a previous for a form sheet as long as your arm for killing and slaughtering animals.
That's not true. Animals like me.
Why is your cat gone like
Like the same way that predators can lure people into like you groom the animals. That's why they like you. What are you saying, Matthew?
that? Why is your cat gone like that?
I think it's because he's living out in the world and he's just fighting all the time.
So that's how you'd bring up a child.
Right, get out there and fight. Because people say I've got to cut his nuts off, I won't do it.
I beg your pardon.
The cat, people say cut the cat's nuts
Well,
off.
do let
They
a vet
don't
do
say
it.
that, do they?
I'll do it myself. If anyone's going to do this, it'll be me and these nail clippers. Yeah, so this is nonsense. Absolute nonsense, this business.
So did the Daily Mail phone you up and get quotes off
No,
of
they
them?
didn't. What they did is they spoke to my dad, who just keeps talking to newspapers all the time, in spite of my repeated requests not to. I don't know why he does it.
I think you've got to have a blanket.
Don't
rule
talk
with
to
the player
newspapers, please. It's not helpful.
Not an actual blanket.
Oh, right.
Just
Sorry,
put a
don't get
blanket
a
on your
Just get a
front seat.
blanket, put a pig in it, pretend it's a baby, and live out the rest of your life nourishing that little pig. Shall we have a trout? What's that other thing we want to talk about? We're going to talk about. I met Bob Mortimer the other day,
Oh,
one
yeah,
of the heroes.
meeting
And we met
heroes.
Paul Weller the other day here at Six Music. He's going to be on Gideon's show. Has that already happened? Or is that coming? When's it? It's happening. That'd be exciting. We'll
It's,
tell you
it's
about that in a minute.
interesting to watch Russell meeting famous people.
Why?
Because it's funny.
Really? Okay, well, let's listen to this music and then we'll let Matt berate and humiliate me about me meeting my heroes. We're going to talk about, there's going to be a trout and then there's going to be Otis Redding. Sighting. Otis Redding, Tramp, you listen to Russell Brand on Six Music. I'm here with Matt and Trev. You all right, Trev?
No, I'm really regretting
What's the
these
matter?
jeans. I feel like a plonker.
You shouldn't be wearing those jeans. You look preposterous.
I know. I might take. I prefer pants. I think.
What?
What, just your pants?
I prefer. Just
Get your
the pants.
trousers off and sit there and dress your pants then.
Yeah, I might do. I'm not going to
We've
do that
done
because
that.
you tell me that. I don't. I think that's. People say I follow your orders too often. I'm going to rebel.
You're rebelling, are you?
absolutely.
We'll soon see where that
The worm
gets you.
has
You're
turned.
the worm has turned, has
Yeah.
it? I'm going to attack you in a moment. I've lied all week to myself that I was right not to intervene when I saw two magpies mugging a sparrow, reasoning it would be wrong to interfere with nature. Not slept since. They're mugging.
Yeah, they do that.
They mug sparrows.
Yeah.
What are they going to get out
They
of
get
it?
the food from it, or its babies.
What do they want sparrow babies for? It's
Eat
just
them all
more
up.
responsibility.
Eat them all up.
Got to bring up those sparrows.
They're
keep
not
the
going to bring
sparrows.
them up, are they? They're going to eat them.
Oh, Trev, that's awful. Stick cigarette rolling papers to Trevor's eyebrows and set them on fire. In fact, anything that involves eyebrow loss would be satisfactory on this fine Sunday. That was Addy. It should have been done in the Jeremy Irons voice. Every time I hear the Jeremy Irons impression, I keep expecting to hear an Anthony Hopkins Hannibal Lecter voice. Clarice. Maybe you should say that he's doing Hannibal rather than Jeremy Irons. No, I think it's Jeremy Irons.
What
definitely
he's
is.
doing is brilliant.
Well, it's,
I want a room with a view
drifting
where I can
around.
see a tree and maybe even some water. I'll help you catch him, Clarice. I can smell your bottom. I was touching my winky when I
He
did
touches his penis all the time.
It's not that,
revolting.
it's his nips. And he twists them like he's trying to
It's
dial
like
into
he-
some
I
sort
think
of
he- I
Russian
I'm
submarine.
dialing into a world of erotica.
Believe
Coming
his
erotica.
stupid chat-up lines that you read in the papers. I'm a tree, I'm part of nature.
I
'Cause
believe
he's
him,
always
yeah.
diddling with himself.
He's always diddling with his privates.
Listen to this.
Go on.
From Sean. I used to steal from my sister's piggy bank and then pay her with the money nicked off her to do his washing up.
Who says this?
Sean.
Sean goes, I used to nick money out of my sister's
Piggy bank and then
would you
pay her
like to
to do
do
my
some
washing
washing up? Here's some money. And it's come from her own piggy bank.
She
this
was
swine.
saving for something really special, or well, that's what she thought. So she was
Saving up. Every time she was doing the washing up, she was thinking, I'm getting closer and closer to my new
and it was the
scooter.
same bit of money going round and round.
It was just the money on
It's a
rotation.
parable
It's a
for the
perfect
world,
crime.
really, isn't it?
How is that a parable for the world, Trevor?
Well,
I'd like you to
I've been
explain
thinking, yeah,
yourself.
you don't need money, actually.
Right, okay, why not?
Because I think, we just do things, and the money is the thing that motivates us. Take away the money, and things
But
would
it's a
still happen.
token for.
It's a
Yeah.
token
But
representing wealth.
Things would still happen.
Trevor, what you just said then was dangerously anarchic. And
We
if
live
I
in a
said something like
society where
that...
you need money, Trev.
I don't
Yeah,
think so.
Trev.
I don't think so.
What, you want to abandon all currency and live in some
I
sort
think
of
there is-
commune?
I'm just saying there's a parallel universe somewhere.
Trev,
where
one day we
everything
will
happens.
overthrow the government, but at the moment we've only got a Six Music show. We don't have enough reach to overthrow the government yet. We will
I
do
think
it.
there's an argument to say that cash will become defunct.
No, not even saying that. I'm
Trevor's saying, the whole idea of currency.
that's just ridiculous.
What's going to motivate people, Trev?
I think people just know their station. They'll know what they have to do. They'll have to know that they have to.
What
go
Trevor
into
said then
work.
is dangerous. Know their station. You are a chimney sweep, my lad, whereas you're a shoe shine.
Exactly.
I'm a lord. That's Trevor. That's just so you can oppress people.
Trevor, do you
isn't.
think money should be replaced by these bracelets that you're wearing?
Yes, I do. I do. I think there should be different.
Hey, listen to
colours.
this. This is from Addy. Isn't everything a lie according to Baudrillard's theory of hyperreality? I think according to
Well
Baudrillard,
done.
everything
Bless
is
him.
a lie. The world is an
He's
illusion.
finally got there.
Thank God we've now realised that everything is an illusion.
It is, yeah.
That's fair enough, though, but that's really going to affect the fabric of this show if we think everything's
All
an
those
illusion.
sort of theories that Trevor buys into, things like that.
into.
Yeah, it's all so stupid.
I haven't got
You can't
shares
just
in
say everything's an
Baudrillard.
illusion because.
Trevor, you're always propping up Baudrillard's theories. Just drop it, will ya?
But you need to get food. You need to do stuff. You can't just say
Yeah, but
it's
these are
all
just
an illusion. It's
this is
just
just as organisms we need to function.
drivel.
Yeah, but I feel, like the concept of self, those kind of things
It's an
could be
illusion.
regarded as illusory. We are just biological
I think
mechanisms that need to be sustained.
We're just
Yeah.
reflections. We're just bits and pieces that we've picked up.
You are.
You are, Trev.
Oh, come on.
You
Just-
are
a
bits
mirage.
and pieces, an old clock part is what you're essentially made of. Dear Russell, Matt, and the other one. That's the kind of email I like to
I
receive.
like it already.
In keeping with the theme of excretion, once I was on a school trip to London on a coach. The journey lasted 3 hours. For the first hour's duration, I sat with my best friend until he vomited across the table on the coach, soaking all my work in stomach acid. I was told to switch seats, and I sat next to a slightly unusual, that's not the word he used, boy whom no one likes. However, in all the confusion of my friend feeling sick, I hid the fact that I was bursting for a trip to the gents. Children don't have a trip to the gents. Excuse me, miss, I need a trip to the gents if you don't mind, and I might stop for a woodbine on the way. Could you put a bet on for me at Chepstow? Mwah, mwah. However, in all the confusion, I forgot I needed to go. The gents, my new seat on the coach was unfortunately also opposite the school teacher whom I had an affection towards. I told her about my desire for the toilet, yet there was nothing she could do. 10 minutes later, I gave in. A small trickle started making its way down the coach and my trousers began to feel warm. Everyone wondered what it was and looked towards me, so cunningly, I rummaged through my bag and found a bottle and said, "Oh, my bottle leaked," only to see it was full. I then turned to my teacher and smiled and said, "Actually, I think I'll be all right now. I don't need the loo. I feel a lot better for some reason." Then spent the rest of the day in warm, damp trousers. Keep up the show. It's a way to make you wake up easy on Sunday. Thank you.
Do you remember that
Matt.
when you wet yourself and it used to go itchy? It was nice
Horrible.
at first, and then it would be all
What?
itchy.
Wetting yourself is nice. There's that initial glow of warmth, but then, yes, the itchiness is
I haven't wet
unbearable,
myself
isn't
for
it?
a long, long time.
Well, neither have I. I'm not saying.
Trevor said that with
week.
some degree of pride. Trevor, you are an adult man. What do you want us to do? Go and buy you a wagon wheel because you've not wet yourself for a couple of days? I'm not going to reward you for doing things so normal. Should we, all right, let's listen to Dirty Pretty Things, then we'll come back and do Trevor's Sonic Enigma, then we're going to bring in somehow the competition winner seems to have been won by Pan's people. So there's about 25 people out there claiming to have won that competition. It's like a bloody cult out there. Right, okay, so
Not
we'll...
only that, do you know what? That bloke Luke has done his own Sonic Enigma.
All right, so we're going to listen to Trevor's Sonic Enigma, Luke's Sonic Enigma, and...
Get all these chicks in.
Yeah, Matthew, it's not the 70s, you filthy sexist. These are the people,
That
are
wasn't
ladies,
ironic
women.
use of the word chicks.
Yeah, well, do you
And
know
they
what?
liked it.
I think
That's
through
why.
your vodka fug, you've lost what irony is. Okay, let's listen to Dirty Pretty Things, Deadwood, yeah.
BBC Six Music.
Listening to Russell Brand on Six Music, that's Hot Skelter, you too. It's time now for Trevor's Sonic Enigma. Last week's competition winner is here. Hello, Louisa, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
I noticed you seem to have come here mob-handed. What's
Well,
going
it's my fan club, you know.
There's five. I mean, there's more. That's still not all of you. There's 5 people. So each of you say hello individually. Louisa, hello. Maz,
Hello.
very well done. Maz, hello. And hello, Jackie, hello.
Hello there.
Jenny May, hello. And of course, you're going to have to tell me your name again. I'm under a lot of pressure. Emma. Emma. So remembered all of those names. Well, this is Trevor. This is Matt. Thanks
Hello.
very much for coming in. Did you all do Trevor's Sonic Enigma together? Why is it that baffling that it has to be done now by committee? It's ridiculous. Louisa, what was the Sonic Enigma that you got right,
It
love?
was Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard.
And you got that right?
Yeah.
Ah, well done, yes, I remember that. And that was a particularly baffling enigma. OK, Trevor, I suppose you've recorded a trail for your Sonic Enigma.
Yeah,
Have you a
I have,
little
yeah.
jingle?
Yeah.
Come in as well, Lindsay. There's another person there. Let's listen to the trail for Trevor's Sonic Enigma.
It's
Can we hear
Trevor's
it, Studio?
Sonic Enigma. It's Trevor's Sonic Enigma. It's Trevor's Sonic Enigma. It done a noise.
So that's Oh God, Trev,
on and
stop
on.
it! That's enough.
It's just the outro.
He done a noise.
Is that a new one?
That's the,
It's the same as the last one, except more self-indulgent.
I think it's good.
No, it's awful. Let's listen to the one that we made one as well, did we?
You did one. You did a.
Let's have a listen.
I'm Trevor Lock, I'm doing an enigma. I'm Trevor Lock, I'm doing an enigma. Trevor Lock, I'm made in light of the death of Elvis Presley. Oh, thank you.
That's silly.
Quite funny by me, that
It's
was.
funny, yeah, but lazy.
Wow, lazy.
Because you didn't have a back. You didn't have any backing.
I did have a back, though. I'm not invertebrate. But I didn't need any backing in my mind. Okay, so that's right. Okay, everyone, listen. Let's hear Trevor's Sonic Enigma this week,
here
see
we
if we
go.
can work it out.
What seems to be the problem, Mr. Locke?
Well, I've got this sort of thing on my leg, just here.
Just take your trousers off, Mr. Locke. Oh, yes, I can see that's a large swelling.
Trevor, essentially now it has entered into the realms of sexual fantasy.
Don't be silly.
What exactly is that supposed to represent?
Well,
oh,
that's
Mr. Locke, you've got a large... You talking to yourself in a room about your own genitalia. Is that what we've been reduced to on this
Don't
show?
be silly.
And what's with that? What are we supposed to make of that?
Enigma, isn't it? I'm not going to give that away.
That's part of the enigma. Trevor, stop talking about the enigma as if it's some sort of religious code, some ideology.
It acts as if it's something that exists in the universe that he channels.
Yeah, that's
way
the
it is.
enigma. It's not for us to question the enigma. We must do its bidding.
It's a bit like that when I come in here every Tuesday to do it.
Is it? You can't.
I never know what it's going to be. I never plan it.
I don't
before.
know what it is,
I
even
walk
having
into
heard
the
it, Trevor.
studio,
It's baffling nonsense.
The mic comes up and it just comes out. and
Just
then
comes
I have
out
to
of
go with it.
you're
yeah.
channeling the enigma. Any of you, Louisa, Jenny May, the clan, do you have any idea what that may be? It's just upsetting to listen to, isn't it?
Come on, you've got a few ideas, surely.
Shout things out that you think it might be. Look at these people. Stood here dumbstruck and baffled, Trevor. These are people that previously supported you. Now that they've witnessed Matthew's childhood flasher going off in their eyes. Okay, well, I haven't got... Also, didn't Luke send in a Sonic Enigma?
Luke sent in a Sonic Enigma. Yeah, we'll do that in a minute. We'll try and get him up. Luke, if you're listening, give us your blinking phone number, you nitwit.
Trevor, I've never heard such a stream of expletives like Kenneth Tynan on the radio all over again.
you know,
Let's listen to Orange Juice if you've
Do we have to listen to the enigma again?
What, to establish it?
Well, yeah, so people can...
It's just so long. It's essentially it's Trevor in a room. Like, you hear a door open.
It's a song. If you can guess what the title of that song is, that now noise
Yeah, let's
makes.
listen to it one more
All right,
time.
let's listen to it one more time to humour him.
What seems to be the problem, Mr. Locke?
Well, I've got this sort of thing on my leg, just here.
Just take your trousers off, Mr. Locke. Oh, yes, I can see that's a large swelling.
Right, if you know what that is, you're a better man than I. Text us on 64046. Also, any suggestions you might have for restraining Trevor, as I now believe he is a danger to himself and the public at large. Let's listen to Orange Juice. Get in touch with us if you understand the enigma or Trevor more broadly. Thank you. So, Orange Juice, listen to Russell Brand on 6 Music. Trevor, it's occurred to me that I've never, ever been able to get one of your Sonic Enigmas, ever.
That's interesting because this one was inspired by you.
Really?
Yeah.
It's inspired by me.
About the way I feel about you.
God,
No, it's not.
thank you,
It's not.
Trevor.
It's not.
That's
It's just
touching.
you requested this song, actually.
Is the song John Wayne is Big Leggy by Hazy Fantasy?
No, I've never heard of that.
I know if I'm confused by it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, Louisa, you had a guess.
Yeah, Bad Case of Loving You, as in the sheep.
Bad Case of Loving You.
You.
No.
No, that's
that
not
by?
the answer.
Robert Palmer.
Is it? Oh, no, I don't like Robert Palmer.
Okay, so Luke, Trevor, what an unnecessary attack on Robert Palmer.
not an
What has
attack
he
on
ever
him.
done? It sounded like an attack. Okay, so Luke's on the line, is he?
Yeah, he is. Do you want to listen to it?
Yeah, hello, Luke. Luke, you've done it. You've done a Sonic Enigma yourself, have you?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Have you? It was better than Trevor's.
Yeah, I think.
Some of your suggestions for Trevor's tortures are fascinating.
I know, they're quite good, aren't they?
Yeah, have you got any more in your little brain?
Right, lick the underneath of Russell's sole on his shoe.
He could do that now. Trev, have a
Yeah, you
go.
can do that.
This is
Come on, Trev.
This is rubbish.
Why don't you want to lick the underneath of the sole of my nude my foot, actually?
Well, because I can see that it's disgusting and dirty. You've been padding around some rice field by... I mean, what have you done? I mean, it's a dirty little foot.
I am involved in Oriental agriculture.
Lick his
A
trotter.
guy needs a hobby. Get your tongue round my trotter,
No,
Lockie.
it's not good radio.
It's good fun, though, ain't it, Trev?
Maybe later, when you've had a bath, I might give you a little suck.
Blimey. Trevor! Must you sexualise everything? We're having a bit of fun. It's innocent fun.
I don't want to be
It's a
part of this
sexless-
anymore.
You've tainted everything that we hold dear. Luke, okay, let's have a little listen. Luke has created a Sonic Enigma. Let's see if it's any better than Trevor's.
Do you fancy a Chinese?
What?
Do you fancy a Chinese?
I can't hear you.
Don't bother them.
Right, it's very much inspired by Trevor Locke. You can see that it's derived from... It comes from the Trevor Locke school of enigmas.
Yeah, that's all right. Got any guesses?
No, mate, because like Trevor Locke's enigmas, it's baffling and senseless.
Right.
I like to ride my bicycle by Queen.
No, nearly. Got the clips from that, though.
Look, you sent in...
Interesting you should say that. That's where I got the clips.
You sent in a rather boastful and arrogant email. You sent me a message on MySpace yesterday, a sort of threatening message.
Threatening, Trevor?
Yeah. So what I want to ask Matt to use the Jeremy Irons voice and read out the email that accompanied this enigma.
I don't want to be, like, given the same personality as that Aaron fella, though.
Well,
All right,
I'll give
Do me a
it to you
different
now.
voice.
Give him a different voice.
Do you want to do it as Anthony Hopkins?
I'll do it as Anthony Hopkins.
I don't know what bit you're going to read, though.
Don't give it away, just do the first little bit.
Fed up with Trevor's crappy Sonic Enigma, so I made my own, Clarice. It's attached and it'd be good if it could be compared to Trevor's on the show. Listen to it, here's a transcript, as you may not be able to hear it too well.
So, what have I got to read out? The transcript?
Don't read out the answer. Or you can read out the answer if you want, because it's never going to be got. I mean, it is rubbish.
Well, I've just read out.
Right, Jerry, you're taking the mix, right? Your ones are terrible.
Every week somebody guesses it, Luke, okay? That is the...
Yeah,
that
if you let people give them an hour, they'll guess it.
Give people an hour for this, so don't reveal the
No
answer.
way.
Okay, so you can enter either Luke's Sonic Enigma or Trevor's Sonic Enigma. If you think Luke's is better, we're going to sack Trevor from the show altogether, or at least take away the Sonic Enigma item, which in all honesty has become the man's life. He talks about it when he's out socially. I've overheard him. Yesterday we were out, and I just walked past him. He was boasting to some poor girl. I just overheard there was, it's just a conglomeration of sounds, man. The way I put it together, it's like jazz, yeah? And it's just ridiculous
She
to
was
listen to him.
interested. She asked me, you know.
People aren't interested.
People are interested. I get mail about it.
But like,
Trevor, you didn't get dropped or thrown when you was younger, did you?
I think we should start dropping and throwing in now, Luke. So it's never too late to start
I hope
dropping and
that
throwing.
you win the
Trevor Locke.
competition once, so that you come in this studio and say things like that to me face to face.
Well, do you know why I don't win the competition?
Well, do you know? Oh, no,
Why
Luke.
don't you win the competition? Because you're too stupid to work it out.
Right, you're calling everybody, but the winner of your competition's stupid.
Hold on, we've got the competition winner. Are you stupid girls?
Who?
Look at these.
Yeah, they're fairly stupid.
They actually are, because they didn't realise immediately that a vocal
done, mate.
response would be the only way to make radio. There, Luke, I'm actually with you on this. Okay, let's listen to the yeahs and then just try and baffle who is the biggest oxygen thief, Trevor Locke or Luke. Frankly, the pair of you are robbing us of vital resources as long as you're alive. Yeahs turn into. So, you're listening to Russell Brown 6 Music, that was the yeahs. We're doing Trevor's Sonic Enigma. A lot of people think that it might be... let's have a look at some of these. Someone here, Dewey, says, is it a warped sexual fantasy indulging in a sex act with a farmyard animal, a goat perhaps? If I was ever lucky enough to win this competition and come down to 6 Music, these things happen, right? Would Trevor's doctor parole officer be present? Because I wouldn't feel safe alone with him.
Don't be silly, Dewey. This is all a radio construct. I'm actually a very well
Sounds menacing.
normal man.
Is the Sonic Enigma lump by Presidents of the USA? Is it, Trev?
I don't know what he's talking about.
That's
Lump.
Siobhan says that.
Yeah, because you say, I've got something here.
Is it you're really
Oh.
growing on me by the darkness?
That's no.
It's a better...
Oh dear,
Jenny May has just clutched her heart because the darkness has been mentioned. Jenny May, who runs my fan website, and also, have you got a Justin Hawkins fan website as well?
No, he already has one.
Oh, I see. So that's Justin
best.
Hawkins.
Second
already had one.
best.
Second best to Justin Hawkins. I can't do a Justin Hawkins fan, so I'll do one for that fella off of Big Mouth. Well, that's because I looked at your MySpace and it's alive with pictures of Justin Hawkins. There's more pictures of Justin Hawkins there are of
I
me.
have a fan site dedicated to you, so I have to show my love for the darkness somewhere else.
Oh, well, I think your love for the darkness should perhaps be suppressed to just something in your private life. Just love the darkness quietly. Because, and also, you know, I've been mistaken for Justin Hawkins perhaps on 9 separate occasions.
You don't look like him, but you are.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. But what happens is you validate these mistakes by having adolescent crushes on both him and me.
Justin's really good looking.
Is he, Matt?
Justin's good looking.
Yeah, Matt knows if a man.
Not really, is he?
Not really.
Trev, is Justin Hawkins from the darkness
I don't know
gorgeous?
what he looks like, to be honest. I couldn't recognise.
Well, me, evidently.
Well, you're quite good looking.
Quite good looking.
I
A
fancy
qualifying
you.
quite. Thank you.
You've said 2 gay things in this episode.
Yeah,
I know.
you're getting gayer by the minute. Perhaps
Freaky,
you should.
ain't I?
Perhaps it is time for you to ring your dad and come out of the closet, Trevor. Because quite frankly, this is becoming me carrying the burden of your homosexuality alone is too much
You're
for
not
one man to
carrying
bear.
it alone, Russ.
Who else are you lusting after? For
I'm
Christ's
not
sake!
lusting after you. I've just merely said that I find you attractive. That's
Is your enigma? Rich Wild says, "Is it Noises of the Leg? Bonzo Dog Doodah Band? Is it that?"
It should have been that, shouldn't it?
That would have been better.
Really
Another
should
person
have.
thinks
Really
it's
should have
Lump.
been that.
Matt Whitby thinks that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people know any of these right. I reckon it's Leg Odd Lamb by Queens of the Stone Age. Is it?
Never heard of that band.
Leg of lamb, I think that's meant to be.
No, Matt. It says Leg Odd Lamb here from Queens of the Stone Aggie. Okay. No, that's. Explain yourself. You know what? This is someone talking about something else. I just checked. This is from Marth. Just checked out my MySpace where I added Trev to my mates, and I'd like you to read this comment he left on mine. You know what? I just bought some blue jeans on Wednesday, wore them for the first time that night, and then promptly lost them in a pub in Soho. Just on my way there now to pick them up. Trevor, this is coming hot on the heels of your admission for being a gay. I mean, like, right, okay, in case you don't know, Soho is a notorious gay district in London.
It's not. It's got advertising, it's got comedy clubs, it's got Chinese restaurants.
Yeah,
it's not just...
Oh, yeah. There's no gays in the advertising industry. Trevor, so why did you lose your jeans in a bar in Soho?
Oh, I don't know. It was an accident, really. Well,
it sounds like it was
a great night,
debacle.
You know, it often is. No, I was doing a photo shoot and I went into
He was doing a photo shoot in Soho. He went into the toilet and he ended up going home with no trousers on.
That's not
It's terrifying.
What happened was I had to go and change. And,
you do have to change, Trev, from the homosexual predator that you are, living your life like Freddie Mercury.
Hang on.
Silly
What
Billy,
on
stop
earth happened?
What happened was I went.
Trevor left his trousers in a toilet.
Just give me an inch. Look.
Trevor, is that what you were shouting in the lavvy through the glory hole? Give me an inch, give me an inch. Give me something to distract me from the misery. Only waddling off in your socks and your brogues and your ridiculous yellowing pants.
Look, allow me to put the record straight.
Trevor, I don't think we're going to allow you.
Please, God.
Look, I bought some blue jeans. It was a mistake. I don't know why I keep doing
I
it.
think the real mistake, Trev, is kicking off your little blue jeans in a bog in Soho.
I didn't do that, did I? I went into the toilet to change out of my blue jeans into my black straight ones.
Into what, some chaps?
No. Don't know what that means.
Into some stockings?
Somebody was in the toilet, and so I came out, and I thought, well, I don't think anyone's going to notice, and I sat behind a table, and I just sort of shrivelled out of them.
Shrivelled out of them?
Shimmied out of them underneath the table, and wriggled back on my black ones.
Why? Hang on. What, so you didn't like wearing them, so you just... Why did you have a spare chair?
Because it's a photo shoot, isn't it? So you have to have different costumes, yeah?
Who is this photo shoot with?
It's for our tour. We're going on tour, and they don't like the photographs that exist of me. They want
none of us do, Trevor, because most of them are you being snapped cottaging on Clapham Common.
Silly Billy, that is not true.
Another guest here from Dewey from Nowhere. It's Dewey again. Is Luke's Sonic Enigma Ring My Bell by Tori Amos? No, it's a Katie Melua track, ain't it?
You just giving away the answer.
Well, we can't be bothered to do Luke's one. It's getting everyone's nerves. It's Katie Melua. I don't even know which one. Luke, we're going to stick with Trevor's Sonic Enigmas because although they're weak and poor, they do provide content for the show. Oh, hello. This is an interesting email I've received here from Sue Morgan. Sue Morgan, Matt Morgan's ashamed and embarrassed mother. Matt, remember when you were little and wet the bed and insisted it was simply sweat because your bedroom was too hot? Look at you morning. Tell her I've already said that. Jabbing at the air like
Can I
Malcolm
just say,
X.
right?
Trying to defend. This time you said it was in your trousers, so that's 2 incidents of you wetting
No, I said it
yourself
was
and
my
claiming
bed.
it was sweat. He didn't. He said it was trousers last time.
Can I just say
What?
that isn't it true that I hardly ever lie? That the two lies that have come up, even from my own mum, is the same thing.
And what's this new lie coming from your mum, Sue Morgan? And much later on, whenever you got an appalling school report, which you did often, embarrassing your father and I, you would defend yourself by telling us that the teacher was new, didn't even know you, only took you for one lesson, left after a few weeks, etc., etc. The lies, the disappointment you've brought upon this family knows no bounds. Is it too late to get him adopted? Lots of love, Sue Morgan.
My mum say that?
Sue, you have my sympathy.
That is true, actually, that I used to say, no, that teacher doesn't even know me. There was just like a barrage of... My teachers were horrible to me at school.
I'm not surprised, Matthew, stinking of urine and lying to everyone all day long, saying there was a flasher outside when essentially it was a street light. There's no way to live. OK, so anyway, so no one's worked out Trevor's Sonic Enigma yet. None of you people know what it is, do you, girls? You can't work it out. They are like that. It's nice to have a girl band in here once in a while. So, I think, where are the Queens of Noise? They claimed they were going to turn up. I've seen nothing
they
of them.
texted me and I said, come down.
Well, they just said they were going to come. We'll ring Noel in a minute. We'll ring Noel Gallagher. Ring us if get in touch if you think you know what the answer is to the Sonic Enigma. There's no point doing Luke's one anymore now. What's coming up now? We're going to play the Stones.
Dead Flowers, yeah.
Is this going to? What's this going to do to the atmosphere?
Oh, don't say
Don't glamorise heroin. We all know. We
was...
know on this show that more than any show the dangers of heroin, don't we?
We do.
Been awful business for us, crikey. Do you remember when I made you go and get me some, Matt, that time? Go and get me some heroin, Matthew. He goes, I don't want to go and get you heroin.
I had to go and meet this... Why did I
Gritty,
do that?
oh, Gritty.
He put loads of pressure on me. He goes, if you don't get it... Then, no, I can't remember. I'm not going to say what he said.
What did I say?
I don't know.
It was a threat,
dying.
wasn't it?
I'll die!
He threatened to kill himself or something. So I went, all right then. I went and met this drug dealer and he pulled the heroin out of his mouth and then tried to pass it to me. And he goes, just keep walking. I'm going to give it to you now.
Was he a magician?
It was a bit like that. It was disgusting.
He had a kind of magic.
He pulled it out of his mouth in a little wrap and then put it in my hand and then I had to take it on the tube to him.
Nice.
What a nice mate.
Then I had some delicious
and all I was
heroin.
thinking was if I get arrested now...
Yeah, I know, I was worried about that, retrospect. I do, Matt, I should have.
Yeah, it must have been hell for you, worrying.
I was. I went, where's my heroin, for Christ's sake? I'm trying to relax.
It was tiny, though, the thing.
Yeah, I know.
I had it prepared to drop if I was
What is the thing?
challenged.
What is it, a little drop?
Just get it in a little bag. Never ever take heroin, anyone. It's really bad for you. Really
It's horrible.
awful.
A horrible
Very
world.
in my
The
life.
people you have to go and meet.
Oh, the people in the world of heroin. Some of them have got no manners, have they, though, drug
Things out
dealers?
their mouths. It was disgusting.
Okay, so dead
Drug-brellas now.
Drug-brellas, drug-brella, of course. Yes, a construct I
This
invented.
drug-brella seems very overreaching now. I think things have been put under that drug-brella that weren't actually in the drug-brella.
Matthew, I don't know what you're claiming there. Those things are all legitimately under the drug-brella. Okay, let's listen to Dead Flowers by the Rolling Stones. Never take drugs, though. It's bad for you.
BBC Six Music.
That record makes me feel ever so sad.
Why?
I don't know.
I like it.
But it's a sad record. That's
Sad, isn't it? It's made me feel melancholy. Rolling Stones,
it's
Dead
upbeat.
Flowers.
It's rock and
Why
roll.
would you
I
think
like
it's
it.
upbeat?
It's about well, death and stuff.
No, he's... Nah.
What is it about, in your view, that makes you cheerful?
What, that song?
Yeah, you
just like
morbid
the... I
swine.
like it. It's good. I
He
think
likes
it's-
the rhythm. He's doing that with his
Like
head.
the
He's doing the
rhythm.
chicken.
So
in
he
and
likes
out.
the rhythm. Is that what that's indicating? Because I can't decipher what that boy's on about half the time.
I don't think it's depressing, but then... You know.
This is from AJ. Dear lads. We're lads. Dear lads. Lads, Socrates, or at least his mate Plato, reckoned that while if reality seems like a quilt of subjective illusions, it's actually like a reflection of the true reality that exists in the mind of God. Some reflections are better than others, though. Trevor seems to live in a crazy hall of mirrors. Thank you, AJ, that's a good point. So, like the idealised forms of Plato, like all beds are derived from an idealised bed. That's what
a
Plato
different idea
believes.
to the one he's...
Really? It sounds the same, Trev, that there is an actual true reality in the mind of God.
Yes, but the cave, the reflection of the
Reflection on wall cave. Oh, I went to
Let's
university.
listen.
I know that, and I know everyone knows the cave allegory. Oh, the realities are like the shadows on a wall, all that lark.
Okay, good. Everyone knows that.
Trevor, what did you do your degree in?
Philosophy, but it doesn't matter. Here's one from Tom
What did you do
Waits.
yours in, Russ?
I didn't do a degree. School and life, yeah. University are hard knocks.
Yeah.
And a post degree in showing off.
Drama college, wasn't it?
I went to actually a very good drama school, yes. The Drama Centre, London.
From the gentility in Essex to drama college.
It's been a primrose path, let me tell you.
Simon in Oxford says there's no such thing as death, and life is a dream. and we're the imagination of ourselves.
This is a quote from Bill
Really?
Hicks, and a very nice one it is too. Dear Russell, just woke up with a groggy
Bill
hangover.
Hicks, who's dead.
Yeah.
What's he saying? There's no such thing as death, and then he died.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I mean,
maybe
he obviously
because
can't
we're
respond to
facing
that
the wrong-
now.
We're in the cave facing the wrong way. If we just turn around, we'd see that he's still alive.
I think if we did turn round and face the other way, what we'd see is you in a Soho lavvy, your jeans around your ankles, frantically screaming, "Give us an inch," or whatever it was. You just bellowed.
The point was, it didn't take place in the lavvy. That's why I
You
lost
say that,
them.
Trevor. I notice you're getting very frantic about this. It's not To Kill a Mockingbird. You're getting very. You've been very defensive. You're
Well,
coming across
'cause
like
you're
Atticus
defaming me.
Finch. I will defame you as long as you.
Trevor, why were you having a photo shoot for both the tours?
Oh yeah, I'm
You're
doing that
both
tour
on
of
it.
stand-up comedy
Why
all over
wasn't
the
he
country.
there?
It'd be good.
Because
it
we're
will.
not a big...
Exactly, because it never happened, Matt. It wasn't a photo
I think
shoot
it did
for a
happen, but why was it in a Soho bar? Did you go, I want it to be in this bar?
We
This
were going
photo
we were
shoot-
going to a transvestite night, and it hadn't
God.
opened
It just
yet.
gets worse.
Trevor,
I don't even hear
you
it.
are gay, aren't you?
I'm not gay.
Just accept it. There's nothing wrong with being
I'm not
gay,
a gay.
Trev.
I'm not a gay.
Just accept yourself. Trevor's sister's turned up here. My mum's out there. I think now's as good a time as any for you to come clean, Trev, in front of your sister about just how gay you are.
I did do a little bit of pole dancing.
Oh, God. Pole dancing. He left his jeans in a toilet in Soho. That's the life he's living,
I
your brother.
didn't
want you
leave them
to
in a
know that.
toilet. That was the whole point.
This is from Eccentrica. Dear Russell, just woke up with a groggy hangover and heard your discussion about Baudrillard. Had to write to say it's not really Baudrillard that says everything is illusion. He still believes in the real. It's just that according to him, second-degree representations and simulations make it difficult or impossible to locate the real. For example, that's why he says the Gulf War did not take place. Not because no one actually died, but because it's impossible to separate the reality from the media representations. He's often taken as an ultra-postmodernist, but in fact he's quite traditionalist, and he is objecting to these simulacra, just as he objects to clones, but somehow he manages to argue that twins are okay. Nice.
Baudrillard?
Yeah, but it's not worth worrying about that too much, as he's considered a bit of a tit by most post-structuralist theorists. Love the show. No, I mean, a lot of post-structuralist theorists do consider him a bit of a tit, and they think that Trevor is a predatory gay who needs to come out of that closet, hopefully with some trousers on.
You consider me to be a friend, don't you?
Not anymore, Trev. Not after these announcements. You're a danger to this show. That's what you are. You could bring us down. You could drag us down into the gutter with you.
You're a danger to my social life.
Well, Trevor, since your social life is conducted through MySpace, I think it's probably best that it's closed down. I think it's an absolute
Come on
mess.
and scrawled graffiti on my MySpace.
I did, Trevor, to protect people.
It's not.
What did I put up?
You just said something.
What
I'm
was
not gonna
it?
repeat it because that will
Repeat
just give
it.
you false publicity.
Go on,
and-
false publicity. Pete, what I put, Trev?
I can't remember. I blocked
Yes,
blocked
you
it out.
can
It
remember.
was something
I said,
rude and silly.
people beware. Trevor Locke is like an online Fred West. He must be avoided. He is a Tron version of Jack the Ripper, something like that.
Yeah.
Trevor hasn't done anything like that. He's had to suffer this show.
Exactly.
He's meant to have something horrible happen to him.
No, I am having something.
Oh, yeah,
horrible
Trevor
happen
is
to me.
meant to have
He's
something
telling
horrible to
lies
him.
about me over the telephone.
Make it make there's someone here said
Over
that
the telephone.
What
This
is
is a
this
big
thing that I've been
telephone.
Do you
doing
think
for
this is the
last few months?
telephone, Trev?
No, it's mechanical. It's electronic.
We have to listen to the Sonic Enigma again because we haven't had
Because no one can get it. No one, because it's so baffling and
hasn't been played,
ridiculous.
that's
You've
why.
ostracised
Right,
the
really
audience.
easy.
Let's listen to it.
Once more.
What seems to be the problem, Mr. Locke?
Well, I've got this sort of thing on my leg, just here.
Just take your trousers off, Mr. Locke. Oh, yes, I can see that's a large swelling.
Okay, we've got. So if you can work that out, 64046, and then immediately check yourself into a mental institute. Trevor, remember, you are beautiful no matter what they say. I have the photos to prove it from Fizz. I imagine they prove a lot more than that you're beautiful, Trevor. I think they probably also prove that you are a Dennis Nilsson in waiting.
Well, you have a very good knowledge of serial killers' names, don't you?
I have to have working with him.
No, why?
I don't know, I just find it interesting that people are living in extremes
I
of
bet
society.
you've got scrapbooks about it.
I've not got scrapbooks about it. Don't turn on me. I'm not the one that's leaving my trousers in a lavvy. My social life is
Oh,
conventional.
let's move on from the trousers.
Hello, Russell. As Trevor knows, I normally download the podcast of this show on Monday and listen to it in the bath. Trevor told me he would edit it differently because of this. But this morning I've got up especially early and I'm listening live in the bath. Are you proud, Joe Lysett, or this it? Yes, we are proud. Are you proud, Joe, in that bath? Ducky, ducky, washy, washy.
The sonic enigma of Luke is 9 million bicycles in Beijing. Katie Melua.
Yeah, someone's got that.
Katie Melua answered it.
Yes, that's... She should be penalised, really.
I love her. Can we get on the show, Russ, please?
All right, try to. And the one from Trevor, is it Pink Floyd with sheep? Is it, Trev? This is from Winkia.
It's very close, but no. It's a pun on the sheep.
And may I add, don't make fun of my pseudonym. And it's pronounced as Winky. Don't pollute it.
Pseudonym.
My parents were hippies.
Have you did they say pseudo-name or is it pseudonym?
It's pseudonym and he...
Yeah, I know it's pseudonym, but they've put pseudo-name.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Beg pardon.
Hi, my girlfriend says her friend has a picture of Russell Brand with no clothes on and he's shaved his pubes off and that she fancies him. That her mate who fancies Russell, by the way, opposed to my girlfriend, who is rather, fortunately for me, fancies me. Having said that, my girlfriend might well think Russell is good looking. Anyway, what's all this shaved pubes malarkey about? Cheers, Paddy. That was ages ago. I did used to shave myself.
I love the way you do the
wasn't
emphasis
well.
right on those emails.
Oh, look, Mairead from the Queens of Noise has arrived and is behaving in a manner that can only be described as disgusting, gyrating against the side of the studio. I think Trevor is handsome. Can I have his phone number? Paddy. And then open brackets, a man, close brackets. Paddy, I'm sure you can. Or just hang around in Soho long enough in a lavvy and you're sure to bump into him. Let's have what we're going to listen to now, the Distillers.
Yeah.
Right, let's listen to those
After
then.
a trailer.
And then try and work out this godforsaken enigma. That there were the Distillers. You're listening to Russell Brand on 6 Music. We're doing Trevor's Sonic Enigma. No one can get it. We've had some more wrong answers. Is it Battery in Your Leg by Blur, Tom in Plymouth? Is it, Trevor?
No, it's not.
OK. We've got Noel Gallagher on the phone. Hello, Noel.
Hey, look, I'm just about to go into a tunnel, right? So hang on for about...
You're going into a tunnel?
20 seconds, right? I'll be back 20 seconds.
All right, 20 seconds. He's a difficult man to deal with.
Fill the time up with something amusing.
I think you're going into a tunnel of your own arrogance. That's what he's disappearing
no, hang on,
into.
coming out the other end now.
I hope he's in the hands free,
And we are back. Hello there. How you doing?
Hello, where are you going?
I'm currently travelling into the Badlands of South Buckinghamshire.
Well, you be careful in those Badlands. It can be very rough there for a lad like you, but naive.
South Bucks, they still have highwaymen, don't you know?
Lot of highwaymen. It's the sort of place that Trevor Lock will get into is one of his cash machine scraps. What he used to... we've got Mairead and Tabitha here. They're obviously attention seekers. She started touching things so that I'd mention her. Hello, Mairead. Hello, Tabitha. Are you all right?
Yeah, no, we're great, thanks.
Don't put... You're not meant to put drinks on there. They've only been here 5 seconds.
It's
Put them on the
already been
floor.
damaged.
No, you know Mairead and Tabitha, don't you know?
I'm aware of them.
Well, you have my apologies. So, have you been listening to the show, Noel?
What, this morning?
Yeah.
Yes, I got up early this morning.
Did you?
Well, I told you we were at a wedding yesterday and got all a bit hopped up on strong beer.
Yeah, and didn't turn up at my stand-up gig.
I do apologise for that because that's 2 weekends on the spin now, blowing you out, innit?
Yeah, it's getting difficult. I feel like I'm trapped in a loveless marriage with you.
Well, you kind of are, but no.
That's what it feels like. It feels very, it's tangible.
Yeah, but the next time we actually meet in the flesh,
oh yeah,
Russell.
Yeah, I know, it's going to be exciting, isn't it?
We will exchange pure love.
But you're going to do that thing on 2nd of November at Coco. Me and Noel Gallagher are doing a gig to raise money for Focus 12. That's a drug charity at which I got
Whoa. You're doing the gig to raise money. I'm doing you a favour.
Don't you care, Noel, about all those junkies that you've probably inspired with your songs that glamorise drug use? Oh, yeah, cigarettes and alcohol, the white line, oh, it's such a laugh-taking drug. It ruins people's lives, Noel.
Well, it didn't ruin mine. Get on that.
There it is, a bit of irresponsible...
Anyway, you can't announce that yet until you've spoken to me manager, because I do have a lot of requirements for my rider, some of which you may not be able to fulfil, Russell.
Really? I imagine that they can't be any more difficult than Trevor Lock's rider that reads like a page from Joe Orton's diary.
and that's another thing. I don't think we should get him up to spoil the kudos of the event. You know, like we were saying last week, he should get up and sing that song that he sang dressed as a cowboy.
Yes.
I think we should blow that out now, because it's actually sounding like a pretty cool bill. Me, you, and Carlos, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Dirty Pretty Things is going to do it as well.
He might just lower the tone slightly, I think.
You're right.
You are frightened, Noel. You're running scared now, aren't you? You've just blown that.
Trevor's tried to start a fight with someone earlier today. He's getting... What's wrong with you today,
I'm just saying that he's backed out there because he's...
Is it because he's wearing jeans?
I think it is. Since he's had his jeans on, he's been carrying on like the Big Bopper. He's like some Jimmy Dean character.
Now, listen, Trev. I only live around the corner from where you work. I've told you this twice now.
Yeah, I know. What is that? Do you want me to pop round?
Come round and I'll take one of the lenses out of your glasses.
Oh, so you're an optician now as well, are you?
Trevor! Getting really bolshy.
I'm not getting bolshy. This is flirtation. Yeah.
Don't flirt with him. That's worse. I think he'd
He
probably rather be
started the
beaten up than
flirtation.
snogged by you.
Saying he lives round the corner. That's the second time he said that in a week.
I can see why your social life is like it is if you see that as a sexual advance. No wonder you end up with your jeans skidding across toilet floors. Someone probably says, oh, could you pass me the soap? Trevor, hello, I'm in here. Off come the jeans, puts his pants on his head, starts prodding people in the base of their spine. Trevor, you've got to change the way you live. It's not proper.
I'm just going around being a respectable person and people just attack me willy-nilly for no reason.
They attack your willy, Trevor, because the bloody thing's constantly exposed. No, so, yeah, I think you're right, Noel. Let's not have Trevor Locke
I think you're
on the bill.
frightened, Noel. You're frightened of my charisma on stage.
I'm frightened of your charisma.
Grow up.
You don't think you can follow me? Is that what you're saying?
I think he should start following you and perhaps hunt you down like a dog.
What, you mean musically?
Musically...
I know, Trevor, I know you're supposed to be a comedian, but come on.
Yeah, come, Trev. You're pushing the parameters
Yeah,
here
man.
of comedy. Be quiet for a bit, Trev. I want to talk about something else now. Now, yesterday there was all sorts of. You don't seem to get these stories. Did you, when you first got famous, have things exposing you all the time in newspapers? No.
Well, no, because I kind of admitted to everything up front, you see.
So have I. I've said I used to be a drug addict, used to have a bit of problem with how's your father, all of that
yeah,
stuff.
but you've got in with the wrong crowd recently, and that makes you more newsworthy all of a sudden.
I see. Right, okay. But like, now, of course, I've returned to my conventional life of just living with a cat. Nice it is. Private.
Right. Well, I've never lived with a cat. Are they nice?
Lovely little characters. No, if handled correctly. Obviously, Trevor Locke would not share these views as he sees cats as sort of like pin cushions or dartboards or things to vent his inner angst upon.
So are you now about to do your weekly ritual of reading out another kiss and tell about yourself for me?
Well, actually, there's not a kiss and tell. There's something in the paper saying that I was, like, in one paper, the News of the World say that I was speaking to Peaches Geldof, and they handled it very responsibly. Well done, News of the World. I think this goes some way to making up for that paediatrician that got attacked in one of their paedophile scares.
Right.
But the Mirror irresponsibly say that I was, like, trying to chat up Peaches Geldof.
Right.
Well, I met her and she's quite nice and everything. But like, it seems that talking to people is misconstrued as a sexual advance, although Matt and Trevor did...
Yeah, but you're a single fella, aren't you, so...
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
You're newsworthy, mate, aren't you?
I mean, I must be honest, most of the time I do talk to women, there is some sort of sexual element to it. What am I Ravens having for doing? Stop attention seeking. Stop it. Be quiet. We're on the radio. You're being really childish and ridiculous. We shouldn't have let you in. You're being very silly.
Well, they're doing picking their noses.
Just picking their noses, faffing around, being juvenile. It's ludicrous. Okay, right.
Reading the magazine.
Well, do it quietly. It's radio, for heaven's sake.
Silly.
I don't think you should be reading a magazine. They're having a
It's really
conversation.
silly.
I know it's not that interesting at the minute, but still.
They can't hear because they've got cans on.
Oh, I see.
I see. They can't hear
They're
anything.
just people standing in a room.
Okay. I see. They're isolated from it. Okay. Noel, thank you very much. Thank you for agreeing finally and definitively to do that gig at Coco.
It's not 100% yet. You've got it. Not in writing yet. I'm telling you, my rider requirements are spectacular.
I know. Well, I'm assuming it's mostly going to be that you want to see Trevor Locke clad in unusual outfits.
No. It's mostly sweet, but some of them are quite rare.
Okay.
Is this Noel with Oasis, or is this Noel on his own?
I think Noel on his own.
Hey, Matt, I know you're a little bit tipsy this morning, but if you think that my band would turn up for a lot of crackheads, you're insane. I'm only doing it because I know Russell.
Were it not for crackheads, your band wouldn't have a career. Hey, come on! We're all having a nice laugh. We're all enjoying ourselves.
What would be on your rider, Noel? I don't understand. You've been very mysterious about this. You're boasting that it's a special rider, but you haven't given us a sort of...
I'm not talking to you.
That's the best way of dealing with him, actually. Send him to Coventry, cut him off.
Vanilla candles, that sort of stuff.
Be nice to have some vanilla
No,
candles.
it's it's this expensive alcohol, which it's a charity gig, isn't it? So I reckon there'll be some pish Budweiser going on in the dressing room.
Well, also it's to raise money for junkies and that. I mean, I don't think it's appropriate.
Is that wise? Is that ethical?
What, to raise money for junkies?
Junkies, yeah.
Well, to get them clean, yeah, of course it is.
Not to help them buy more drugs.
Yeah, do you know what? It's 5 times more expensive to send a junkie to jail rather than to get him clean. So, it actually makes economical sense. Yeah, it's better to rehabilitate people.
And what's going to happen with the money?
With the money, I'm just going to spend it on drugs, I think. I'm bored
no,
of
I mean,
being
are they going to buy kidney machines or...
They don't need kidney machines.
Yeah, well,
it's a different charity.
Someone going to get a liver transplant or something?
No, I think, no, it's more like, they'll go to a treatment centre, like when I was in treatment, you'd have to go on day trips, go-karting, stuff like that.
That must be
Old towers.
Yeah, you do. It was very difficult.
Well, all right then. I'll do it, but if there's any trips going to SeaWorld, stick us down for +1, will you?
Yeah, no, you're on a +1. We'll have you there.
Yeah.
Flipper, Guno, that killer whale thing that dances and... Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do a SeaWorld trip with some junkies, then we'll know we're
Brilliant.
alive. OK, Noel, thank you for your time, old bean. It's lovely to talk to you. Talk to you
Pleasure,
soon. Perhaps you'll, promise to come to one of my gigs soon and then not turn
Well,
up.
as I was just saying to what's his name before, as this has become our weekly occurrence for the last 2 months,
Yeah.
I'm almost like part of the team now. Will I be expecting payment for any of this?
Well, I think you've got enough money. You're constantly bragging about how you eclipse James Blunt's earnings.
I'm not constantly bragging about that. You keep bringing it up and then saying I'm constantly bragging about it.
It's an incessant tidal wave of boasting.
I thought you were going to say an incessant tidal wave of money, which I was going to say, haha.
Start again, more boasting. OK, what was it?
No, I'm not.
Stop. No, we've got to go to the news now. Hopefully,
News, schmooze, I'm getting off.
Take care. Perhaps the headlines will be Noel Gallagher earns a fortune for lazy and derivative music and boasting.
Right, I'm out of here. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Bye,
Cheers, Noel. Take
Bye.
it easy, mate. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Right, OK, let's have some news now. Then it's going to be Block Party. We'll enjoy that. But first, the news. Block Party. Nice to listen to Block Party. Did you enjoy that, girls?
Yes.
I was talking to Mairead and Tabitha. You see those ridiculous shreds of skin between your thighs, Matthew? Those eliminate you from the female
It's
community.
a noble machine.
That ridiculous rag you wander through life with. So, Mairead and Tabitha, thanks for coming.
How revolting.
Don't listen, we're on in the daytime. Behave yourselves. So, are you well?
Yeah.
Look ever so well. Nice to have you here. You have to talk into that microphone, both of you.
yeah. Hello.
Sorry about the conventions
You
of
have to stand
radio.
up,
It's an audible medium, for heaven's sake. So have you got any ideas of what Trevor's Sonic Enigma might be? You don't even know what it is, do you?
No.
Look at
No.
your baffled faces.
I never listened to your show.
You don't listen to our
Can I
show.
say that Trevor Lock was ruling the dance floor last night, contrary to his
He
public
was.
image?
He was.
And at Jade Jagger's party the other night.
Trevor Lock ruling the dance floor.
Thanks very much for that. Finally, the
He
truth
was
out.
sparkling.
Probably the way he rules it is
Unlike
what
Russell.
an
He's
air of
pretty
menace over people's
streetwise.
pets. Sorry?
He's pretty streetwise.
Trevor. Well, he has to be with his
public
lifestyle. If he don't know how to cope on the streets, his social life would plummet. You can't. If you're going to hang around Soho behaving how he does, you need to know the rules.
I enjoyed your DJ set last night. It was good.
Well, that's a very exclusive thing to say.
No, it's
but
not.
These people have been out. Okay, let's accept that. Okay, so who's on the line to answer the question?
Little Timmy Tim Toes.
What, little, sorry?
Hello?
Little Timmy Tim Toes?
Yeah.
Hello, little Timmy Tim Toes, as you've been dubbed by Trev. How are you, old bean?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
Oh, quite well today. Have you got any lie anecdotes you'd like to regale us with, or were you not primed to be able to answer that question?
I don't, I'm afraid, no.
See, well, that's Trevor Lock should do that. That's what Trevor Lock should be doing instead of kicking his jeans off and gloating about treating guinea pigs like spurned lovers. So Timmy Tim, you've done a you think you might have an idea of what the answer to the enigma is?
I think I do, yeah.
Okay, well then please tell us, what do you think the enigma is?
Should we play it and then you can give it?
Okay, well let's listen to it one more time. How about it, Tim? Keep your ears open. Leave the mics up. For this.
What seems to be the problem, Mr. Locke?
Well, I've got this sort of thing on
It's
my
too long,
leg.
isn't it?
The door sound effect's rubbish.
Here.
There's a lot of silence in this.
Too much silence.
mate.
Take your
It's
trousers
eerie.
off, Mr. Locke.
You could go, oh, doctor, I'm a bit worried about this.
Oh, yes, I can see that's a large swelling.
And Trevor, you've deliberately left this large swelling thing, so there's an air of sexual menace to your enigma. Why
Yes,
is
if you
that?
want to read that into it, that's up to you, mate. That says more about
Okay,
your
so
little mind.
let's get the answer.
Tim, come on.
Timmy Toes?
It is, I've got you under my skin.
Congratulations! Is that the answer before we go mad with excitement?
Who's it by?
Frank Sinatra?
Well done.
Well, it's a great answer. Atmosphere. We are creating atmosphere now. Well done, Jolly. Well done. So, Timmy Toes, you're going to come down here next week?
Yeah.
So that's part of your prize. You are allowed to bring 1 or 2 chums with you. I suggest you bring someone burly and beefy who might be good in a fight situation, because Trevor Lock now fancies himself as some sort of bare-knuckle Vin Diesel style action hero. Keeps trying to start rows all the time.
People start
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, well, yeah.
that.
Bring
Brilliant.
someone burly or bring knuckle dusters. Come tooled up is my advice to you, Tim. Don't come down to Six Music and not expect a ruck. Well
All right,
done.
then.
Also, there'll be a lot of pledges now of other prizes that you'll never receive. Are you going to give Tim some prizes?
If you want a prize, do you want a prize, Tim?
Look at his nonchalant attitude. Do you want a prize, Tim? Do you live in the material world, man? Are those things important to you? We've done one show where Baudrillard's been mentioned, and Trev now thinks of himself as some sort of David Koresh figure.
Little Timmy Toast, do you want a prize?
If there's anything going, I'll have it. If not, not a
There you
problem.
are, there's nothing. If you can't
He
name
should get a
something,
prize.
if you don't want something, you ain't going to get it, mate, are you?
God, Trevor's changed. Why has it become like this? Here, Tim, you can come to the Mairead's using this as an opportunity to plug one of her events. Well, what is your event? Tell us.
It's Invitation to Dance with the amazing Lavender Diamond playing live in this spectacular new venue in London's West End.
Nice.
It's like converted royal wine cellars.
July the 14th, this is happening, is it?
Yeah, Bastille Day.
Tim, you'll be welcome to come to this event. Would you like to come?
I'd love to. Excellent.
I've been to some of Mairead and Tabitha's do's, and the best I can say about them is they're depressing.
Oh,
They are. They're
depressing.
not.
Laters.
These girls embody fun and larks and good times. They're like modern-day Marianne Faithfuls. What I'm essentially saying is they're groupies. Hey, come on, don't look this
They're
way.
really brilliant.
Oh, come on, we're mucking
It
about.
takes DJ to a new level, what they do. I mean, it's amazing. Last night, you were really fantastic. You were on that stage and you held the whole floor. It was incredible. It was like a cross
good.
between
The Muppet Show, isn't it?
and a disco. It was
And Ant and Deck.
Nice, you are very good at what you do. Oh, they're embracing each other now. That's nice. So, what's the other thing that I wanted to say about you two? Oh yes, Tabitha falling off that car roof in the week at Sadie Frost's birthday party. Shocking behaviour that was.
I've always been clumsy.
Right, so because of course some of you will have seen in the tabloids pictures of a mystery woman falling off of a roof outside of Sadie Frost's party. She's not a mystery woman. No woman could be more banal than Tabitha plummeting off of a car roof outside of a party.
Did you hurt yourself? That looks quite violent.
I hurt myself in 4 places.
I hope one of those places was your soul, because quite frankly that was a shocking way
It was
to
my
carry
ego.
on. Okay, so
Pride.
what
we
are we
have to
going
listen to Frankie Sinatra now?
Yeah, we do actually.
I hate this song.
Why are you going to attack Frank Sinatra?
I don't like it. It's smug and he's not singing, he's just talking. I've got...
He's smug and he's not singing, he's just talking. It's Frank Sinatra,
It's
man.
not the streets.
It's one of the greatest phrases of the 20th century, if not the greatest.
Trevor,
I've
I
got you
find
under
myself
my
in
skin.
support of you. Yeah, I think that song's about drugs myself.
Well, probably
It's
is.
about
but I
love.
don't care.
It's
You should
about
sing
love.
it.
Love! What is this thing you earthlings call love? Let's listen to old Frankie
eyes.
Sinatra talking, as Matt says. He's rubbish, he's talking. Just visit Frank Sinatra. Florence Nightingale was a lazy cow. That lampshade was nothing of
You
any
stop.
use.
I
You
don't
are an
speak like that.
iconoclast. You are a worthless, lousy iconoclast.
Shut up, you with a bow tie.
Muhammad
that's
Ali
not
was
done up
rubbish.
properly.
If he was truly any good, why does he walk around like that now? Like he's all confused.
Why are you doing that walking on the spot thing?
Because that's how you are. That's how I personify you. Marching your way through life, scoffing pasta and booze, having ridiculous opinions.
I don't eat
Where's
pasta.
your cultural review? You're supposed to do a cultural
Yeah,
review.
you haven't asked me.
And guess what happens? Right,
I
earlier
went
on,
to
we
a
go,
cinema on my own on Friday night.
Good,
Watch a
best
film.
place for you.
there.
Me and Trevor goes, oh Matt, you must do like we're going. Oh, what about when we get like we're going? Oh, right, what else has got to go on in the show? And Matt goes, oh yeah, I've got to do my effing cultural review. If ever a man needed to do a cultural review, it's him bellowing and burping like Bill Sykes. Bullseye! I've just seen the National
don't like
Gallery.
this.
It's ace.
I've got a degree in fine art.
You have not got a
Use it,
degree.
Matthew.
Yeah,
Use
use it.
it.
Let's see it. Where's the evidence, Matthew? Okay, let's
You've
listen.
denied your roots.
Let's listen to let's listen to old Blue Eyes. I'm from the gentility now. Just been maced with perfume by Mairead from Queens of Noise. For no reason, might I add. It weren't
You don't
justified
dance,
macing.
that's
Listen to
why.
Russell Brand on Six
Not like
Music. I
Trev.
do dance when
You
you used to.
never
Earlier.
dance.
Trevor, Matt, don't I
Yes,
normally
he
dance?
dances.
So I'm going to give him some lessons. He can be Patrick Swayze.
He would be a good dancer.
We'll be baby.
I don't like it.
No, he's...
You're victimising
got
us.
good
dances sort of
energy,
ironic,
Russell.
Pat
You
Sharp
could be
way.
good.
My little Pat Sharp kicky legs booting out of the world. What was the track we just listened to then, girls?
That was Rhyme versus Reason. And the track was called, I don't think they've named it yet, Griffin Crunk, I think they were going to call
And
it.
there's like this new scene, folk rave, that we're
This new
creating.
scene. There's this new scenes. So I'm talking about as if they're yo-yos. There's this whole new thing. Everybody's doing it. This is right for all fun. Stop it, because you'll get Trevor excited and he'll come next week going, oh, I've dressed up like a folk rave guy. He's easily influenced by stuff like that. He used to smoke aspirin as a boy because he once read a copy of Enemy. G's here. Let's have G. He's going to do a poem. G, welcome. Let's create some atmosphere. Yeah, all right.
Whoa. Thank you very much.
Have you been enjoying the show, G?
Yeah, I've been enjoying it immensely.
Right. Good. It's not easy, is it, as you say, to use your catchphrase. So, what have you written for us, mate?
Okay, I've written a poem called Lies.
Because we've been talking about lies on the show, and Trevor Lock's entire life is a lie.
Is this poem being written today?
It's been written today.
Wow.
Perfect.
It's an
Written for the show. Lovely. Exclusive. Second exclusive thing on the show. And also there's revelations about Trevor Lock's private life. Interesting stuff.
Okay, lies. Lies. That's what we all came to hear. To tickle our fancies and massage our ears. Because reality is so boring and exploring of the fact, while deceit lies the truth on its back so intercourse can enact. We have lying gorillas blaming kittens, leaving Trevor feeling smitten, to Russell spraying Jif around his mum's toilet, and Matt so drunk we think he's tripping. Seeing flashes at Catholic discos, if you gate crash that gig, you're taking a risk though. Like writing articles about piglets, pretending to be babies. Some journalists must be slightly pissed though. Lies. That's what we all came to hear. To tickle our fancy and massage our ears. From Noel's gig campaigning to Russell's fake Scottish agent. To Luke's challenges to Trevor's enigma getting stranger and stranger. Lies.
Mr. G! Wow. It incorporates stuff that happened in the show. People are clapping outside there. Thank you. Look at that. Spontaneous applause. What incredible atmosphere we've created. Nice one, G. That was lovely. Okay, it's another show nearly at an end. Trevor, is there anything you want to say?
There's nothing I can say, really.
Not really, is there?
But please download the podcast of this.
Oh, yeah, we've got to download the podcast. We're trying to get to number 1. It's doing really well. Where are we now? Number 5?
We were 4. We went back to 5.
We slipped a place. Come on, you must download us. We urge you.
Good luck to England.
Good luck to England. 2 thumbs up from Matt Morgan.
And if you're in the Brentford area this evening, come along. I'll be putting in a public appearance at the Waterman Arts Centre.
Trevor? If you're in the Brentford area, the Waterman Arts Centre.
I'm making an appearance there.
Well, you'll be in magistrate's court the next day for indecent exposure. Or you can catch Trevor the very next day, all up before a magistrate. We're going out of the Yardbirds or Michael Jackson.
Dirty Diana by Michael
Going out of Dirty Diana. This is for Susie. Mairead and Tabitha, thank you very much. You've been wonderful. Competition winners this week, all of you, and Jenny May from the fan site, thank you very much. You've all been lovely. What a wonderful show we've had. And next week we're going to be back. Perhaps we'll get Matt to dress in women's clothes, and Trevor's got to do some of them challenges. I like the one where someone said put Vaseline all over his face and stick hair to it, then put Pritt stick all over his hands and make him touch himself.
Come email the message board with nice things for me to do. Nice challenges.
We won't do nice
intelligent
things.
challenges.
Really
Some of you have brains, use them.
Trevor, stop attacking our listeners and Noel Gallagher.
He attacked me first, and I will defend myself. And if he's waiting out there...
You can't defend the indefensible, Trevor. Honestly, he does live near you, and I think he might beat you up.
I'm not frightened of him. I'm bigger than him.
You're not bigger than him. Look at his ego's out of control. He thinks he's bigger than Oasis now. Oasis think the Beatles think they're better than Jesus. Oasis think they're bigger than the Beatles. Trevor Lock thinks he can have Noel Gallagher. All these egos. It's like Dr. Dre's garden. Let's listen to Dirty Diana, Michael Jackson. Yeah, okay, wild. Yeah. Bye. Love you. Ta-ta.
BBC 6 Music.